at this point, Chris, because just as we've been talking about the lack of trust, I mean, that is reverberated in social media and mainstream media in this community. And because of that, you have to put it before this 15 to 23 person grand jury and have them look at all of the evidence. That's the only way to instill trust in this process that we're at right now.
Ariva, because look, why am I bringing it up?
The last thing they want to do is have this out in the media and then go to the grand jury and possibly take from the prosecutors. Now they may, so we
have not seen ground.
Well, I don't.
Autopsy.
Fair investigation that you would give if this was a young, football star white kid in this community.
Right. Well, look, and they are certainly getting attention, and I'm part of it, right? And I have been from jump on this. Jennifer, if they had an initial autopsy, why don't they know whether or not he drowned?
Well, I don't know that we know that. I have not heard that. We have not seen the official autopsy from the prosecutor.
We have not seen it.
No, we haven't seen it, and nobody's seen it except for a close circle. So we aren't going to know that information right now, and they are not going to distribute the autopsy, in my opinion, until after it's been presented to the grand jury. Nobody is going to know any more details, I don't think, from the prosecution side, from the prosecutors. Now, they may from the witnesses, they may find out from other videos, things like that. We're not going to know from that side because they're going to wait and present it to the grand jury. The last thing they want to do is have this out in the media and then go to the grand jury and possibly taint that grand jury's decision.
All right, but with a caveat. If the initial autopsy showed that this was a drowning and there was no sign of anything else, why would you go to a grand jury?
Oh, they must go to a grand jury at this point, Chris.
Slim, Nurse Lady, J Mastermind, what up, what up? Y'all give me a second to get it together. We on the Rumonati lunch break live, y'all. Let's go. Looking at.
Because just as we've been talking about the lack of trust, I mean, that is reverberated in social media and mainstream media in this community. And because of that, you have to put it before this 15 to 23 person grand jury and have them look at all of the evidence. That's the only way to instill trust in this process that we're at right now.
Ariva, because look, why am I bringing it up? Because it happens, right? God forbid your kid falls in the pool, goes to the hospital, they took a look at it, the kid drowned. They're not going to a grand jury. It happens.
That's a great question. So that begs the question as to, did something else happen? Because clearly, if it was a clear drowning, no foul play, as we've been hearing, sure, they could have come out and said, we've discovered a body. There was water in the lungs. No evidence of foul play, if they were prepared to support that. I'm asking that question myself. That is very curious. But I think the lack of them stating that in the affirmative is what led so many people to create all these conspiracy theories and folks to start asking, well, why didn't they? Maybe it's not a straightforward drowning. Maybe there is more to this than just a kid who's on an island and stumbles or somehow gets in the water and the current comes and, takes him away. So if it were that simple, I'm with you. Tell us it was that simple and be prepared to stand by it and have the evidence to support it. But that's not what happened in this case.
Why is this? So part of the read on the second autopsy.
She's got a point.
It's a nothing burger. They looked at it and they found nothing. This is over. Why wouldn't they be able to make more of an assessment on the second autopsy? Ariva, I'll start with you on this. Why wasn't Dr. Wells, who did the assessment for the family, why wasn't he able to tell whether or not it was a drowning?
Well, I'm not a forensic, and so right. I'm going to step a little bit out of my lane, but I'm just going to repeat what I've heard you and Jennifer say, which is that when you get the body the second time, you're not getting the full picture that maybe you get when the first medical examiner has access to the body. So we're talking days from when he was discovered. We're talking other medical examiners that have already manipulated the body. And I don't mean in a negative way. I mean, they just, engage with the body. So again, I'll leave it to the experts, but presumably you're at a disadvantage if you get that body second versus getting that body first.
How does it work, Jennifer?
Well, this is the issue. They removed all the organs. And they have to. And as well, Dr. Wells pointed that out too. This is normal standard procedure. So that's all gone. And things like the trachea, the bronchi, all of that is going to be removed. So that puts the second person doing the autopsy at a disadvantage from seeing it firsthand. However, what I find interesting is that the photographs were not turned over, or maybe they weren't requested, or maybe it's going to be in process. But nothing was turned over. It doesn't seem photographic evidence of that first autopsy. And that would help the second ME to answer some of these questions. I think they didn't turn it over again because they're waiting before they want the grand jury to see everything first.
So weren't they setting themselves up for disappointment, though, Jen? If you know all the organs are taken out and you're saying we're going to do our own autopsy, but you know you're going to have a really hard time showing something unless the kid's got obviously broken bones, or some kind of gross injury to him. You're not going to be able to advance the understanding.
Well, I think that's what everybody was waiting for, right, Chris? They wanted to know, is there any sign of strangulation? Are there contusions? All those things we talked about. We only have a redness on the back of the head, which quite frankly, having been in these autopsies, just laying on that cold, hard table for the amount of time with everything that they do to the body, that could have caused that impression. Remember, it was not described as blunt force trauma.
Ariva, did you think it was interesting that he was identified from dental records? Is that water that warm? That a couple of days. I thought that was interesting. Do you think that was their way of saying we dotted every I, crossed every T?
I think it had more to do with that. I have not heard that the body was decomposed by the time that they found it. I think it did have more to do with we have, validated this identification of Nolan Wells. And let me just go back to Jennifer. Thank you for that explanation about the second autopsy. A lot of this, Chris, is about the family wanting to feel like there's a transparent process in place. And maybe they explain to them, look, the second autopsy is not going to, be the same. It's not going to have the same integrity, the fidelity that the first one had because the organs have been removed. But you can imagine a grieving family saying, I know it may not be perfect, but maybe we'll learn something. Maybe there's going to be a piece of evidence that was missed or that wasn't reported out by that first medical examiner. So there may not have been an expectation that we were going to learn some brand new, finding from the second autopsy, but it was really more about giving the family some peace of mind that they had done everything they could to discover what happened to their son. And again, as a parent, I can imagine them sitting there saying, do it. Even if it's not perfect, we still want it done.
The interview that the guy, Brandon Tatum does with Warren Hudson, who's one of the friends. And the kid comes across composed, doesn't seem like he's faking it. He's giving lots of detail as he goes through all of it. But what's interesting about it is that, what Straight Arrow News is? I'll tell you what it is. A great opportunity for you to create your own source of trusted information. All right? They do something that's becoming surprisingly rare. Straight Arrow News focuses on facts, context, and transparency. There's no agenda. They don't have a bias, okay, other than being better than other services. Politics, economy, crime, stories, and
y'all keep running the likes up. I appreciate everybody. I see y'all in the chat. Slim, Mike, Jay, Nurse Lady, everybody. I appreciate everybody. Continue to run the likes up. Continue to stay active in the chat. We don't have to agree. We just have to be able to coexist. You don't have to like the answers or the comments that somebody else puts in, but you just please be respectful is all I ask. Let's go.
You're tired of the noise and you want to create a safe space for you to be a critical thinker, check out Straight Arrow News through the link on your screen and in my description, okay? SAN for straightarrownews.com/Cuomo. I love their tagline, fear no fact. It's completely unextraordinary, Jennifer, like his account of it, right up into, so why did you leave? What changed later that afternoon? Now, Brandon Tatum, cleverly has kept that for part two, which on one level is kind of a bullshit thing to do, but it's all about clicks, right? It's all about clicks. And that's one of the problems with independent media. I would not be able to do this at News Nation. I wouldn't do it personally, and I wouldn't be able to do it at News Nation. You're putting out both parts of that, okay? You can do it in two parts if you want, but you're not doing it one day after the other. You got to give people a sense of closure on this kind of situation. But my understanding is that what he's going to say is that they'd all been drinking and doing whatever they were doing. So nobody thought to say, oh, but wait a minute, isn't your phone on the boat? Shouldn't we get you your phone? And he said he was going to stay. He was with another group of people, which makes perfect sense because all the friends were interconnected and there were plenty of boats there with other people going back. And they left, and that's it. He never heard anything until he was told about what happened. He didn't erase anything. He didn't do anything. That's what he's going to say. Okay. But that's never been, unless they did something to kill him, that's never been what matters most. What matters most is what happened after they left. Right, Jennifer?
Yeah, I mean, from a factual standpoint, from an evidentiary, from an investigator standpoint, I want to know all those details. The GPS coordinates coming out, that was very important to me to see. As I mentioned on the onset, the first time we interviewed, I want to know about the rip currents. What if there weren't any rip currents? I might have a different view on it. I love to see the actual pieces of evidence and where they line out. And part of it is, though, these witness statements that they're giving. And I think the fact he was so very composed, I just did not get the impression he's lying.
Well, look, I got to tell you, who knows if he's lying is probably his parents. And again, the decision, especially if you've got a sophisticated parents who understand the system, letting him do that interview is a ballsy move. Now, I understand Ariva's point. I'm not talking about going to talk to Nolan's parents. That's different. That's different. I respect loyalty and friendship. I'm talking about how you avail yourself of the system, which can absolutely be adversarial to your interests. That's why I was impressed that he did it at all. And I found his account and what I understand about the rest of it to be pretty much what I expected to hear. What I did not expect to hear were the early suggestions, Jennifer, that manipulation had been done of text messages and of media. I don't know that any of that has proven true. The only thing I've been able to...
I wasn't impressed by him doing the interview. I was surprised because there was so much silence in the beginning. Then all of a sudden, everybody comes out to speak at once after it seems like they had time to get a story together. It just seems that way. All I said was seems. I didn't say nothing was proven. Let's go.
I did not expect to hear were the early suggestions, Jennifer, that manipulation had been done of text messages and of media. I don't know that any of that has proven true. The only thing I've been able to look at was that the mother's claim that, there wasn't a lot of Snapchats on there. That's unusual for him. It's not unusual if he didn't take his phone. Then it's not unusual. I don't know anything. Do you know anything about any manipulation?
What will you do to everybody that's asking what somebody else is going to do? What are you going to do? I think at this point in time, because there's so many different, we're being pulled so many different ways, so many different mindsets about what should be done and how we should act and who should do what. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to maintain my civility and not let my emotions get the best of me and not expect anybody to go out there and ruin their lives just because somebody else's life is ruined. I'm not expecting anybody to go out there and throw their life away. My question is to all the people that say, what are we going to do about it? What are your personal plans in your day to day? What are your plans instead of putting the pressure on everybody else? What are you going to do about it? You personally.
Of messages by the other kids.
No, and I want to be very specific. So when I see something hit mainstream media or social media, just like you said, that something had been erased, I always try to backtrack. Where did the original statement come from? And, his mother, and believe me, my heart absolutely aches for her. I cannot imagine losing a child. Anybody who hasn't walked in those shoes can't imagine that.
Everybody that's saying let's mount up and go do something physically to get some change is looking for more people to die. You're a dummy. And unless you're going to go be the first one out there to be willing to catch a bullet, you shouldn't be saying that kind of shit. You shouldn't be. What is it that you expect yourself personally if you're putting that pressure on everybody else? We're not going to change. What does it do then? What will you do? Oh, now it's a coward question. No, the coward question is putting the pressure on everybody else. When I'm telling you what I'm going to do personally, I'm going to maintain my civility and I'm not going to let my emotions rule my actions. I'm not going to let my emotions outweigh my logic. And I'm going to make a determining factor based on my logic, not my emotions. So what are you going to do? Because you haven't answered the question yet, coward.
So my prayers and thoughts are with her. But the origination of that statement, just like you said, was merely she said she expected snaps and she expected maybe.
Once again, avoiding responsibility, avoiding accountability. You're putting the pressure on everybody else. You want to speak for the entirety of the community. You as one loser with no real name, no face being shown, but you want to be the one to speak for the community. I'm on the internet with a mask on, fool. Don't ask me what I'm going to do for what's this going to lead to our people. I don't speak for everyone, and you don't either. So stop trying to take that responsibility for yourself, fool. What are you even talking about? And what are you still haven't answered what you personally are going to do after I told you what I was going to do, because you don't have an answer. You just want to be a contrarian. You just want to stir shit up. You're part of the problem.
Movies, I think she said too. Well, that then grew legs, right? Trump then said, we think things are erased. And then it was like, it just grew out of that. But there's been no evidence of that. Zero that we've seen.
And to date, and again, it's who else was there and who saw what. That's going to wind up being.
I'm tired of all these self-righteous, fake, poor righteous teachers that's acting like they're going to be the ones to go out and do something about it. Oh, I'm going to do the big thing that's going to change everything. No, you're not. So stop trying to put that pressure on other people who you feel, oh, you should be responsible because you talking about it. You should be responsible because you come in here and trying to put pressure on everybody else. You part of the problem. And I'm not upset, bro. This is passion. I do this every day. I'm not upset. This is passion. I do this every day. You haven't answered the question yet. Take your question and answer it for yourself. Until you do it, you will only get blocked because you haven't done the same thing, which is respectfully answer the question the same way that I did yours. That's going to get you blocked because now what you're doing is antagonizing and being a contrarian and causing division instead of having an actual conversation. You're about to get blocked unless you answer the question. Anything else going against this conversation other than answering the question, you're going to be removed, sir. No disrespect. But I'm not going to continue to engage with you or allow you to put that kind of attitude in the chat without you giving some explanation for that. I gave you my explanation. Now I'm expecting yours respectfully.
It is hard to get. Until I looked at the island, Ariva, which I don't know if you've had a chance to do. I don't think I can do it in a way.
Remove yourself, sir. Just remove yourself. Oh, I literally attack the system daily. You're not giving any specifics. I gave you specifics. Give specifics or you can just remove yourself, sir.
That'll be satisfying.
King Trump, shout out to you. The question ain't for everybody. The question is to one particular person who posed the question to the entirety of one race. That's who the question. This is, I'm sorry, this is a personal, not personal in the sense of there's real life contention. It's just a one-on-one debate. It may be passionate, never personal. Shout out to J Mastermind and shout out to everybody else. Shout out to Anonymous, Geo Roman. Who else did I just say? King Trump. Shout out to J Mastermind as well. Shada Sag, Slim John, Slim John Jones. Who else do I see in here? Hold on. Exo Mills, Lanier, Mike from the Ville. Did I say Geo Roman? I did. Super duper salute to y'all. Nurse Lady T. Make sure I say Nurse Lady T. Make sure I say, is that Baby Nismo 24? Shout out to you guys. We're going to let the content continue to roll. I'm going to wait for the answer to the question between me and Jay Mastermind, and we're going to keep the content rolling, guys. I'm sorry for talking over it so much, especially so early in the program. Let's go.
On here, but I thought for sure there's no way this kid died in the middle of a crowd and nobody saw anything unless it was like a mob stampede kind of deal. But I think I'm making a bad assumption. When I look at Horn Island, it's a big island. And it could be the case that there are people who saw things, they just didn't see everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I have not looked at the island, but I've read about the island. I've read the description of the island. And I think you're right. I think there is a possibility that there were people there on the island who didn't see things. And I do want to go back to Jennifer's point about the manipulation of data, cell phone data, social media. I'm with you on that, Jennifer. We have to be so careful. These stories, somebody makes one statement, and as you said, it grows legs. And by the time it gets to the 10th person, it gets posted, and it's a completely different statement. And I never read the mother to be saying that she thought someone purposely or that she had evidence. She was talking about her son's pattern. This is what my kid usually does. And because I didn't see his usual activity, that's suspicious to me. So that's a completely normal statement for a parent to make about your child's pattern. She was not talking as a forensic, technology expert that had done some kind of forensic examination of the.
Guys, give me like 3 to 5 minutes to suit up so I can cam up and y'all can see my ugly mask. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to everybody with the engagement. Thank you. Excuse me. I'm stumbling all over my words. Porky Pig this morning. Thank you to everybody for the engagement, for the continued support. Y'all the most aggravating chat in the game, the most appreciated chat in the world. And no content creator is nothing without support of the people, especially this one. Let's go, guys. Thank you.
Cell phone or other social media. So we have to really be careful with things like this because there are a lot of people out there that want to sensationalize this. There are all kinds of stories about altercations, and one of the witnesses is on a video, on an audio yelling, "Give me my effing phone back." And that was first attributed to Nolan. Then the friends come say, "No, that's not Nolan's voice." So I just caution people, check your sources as lawyers, as investigators. That's how we're taught. So we just can't run with something that someone says or posts on social media, because I didn't know. Point in case, let's be clear about this. The first pictures that came out, there are no other black people on this island. But the kids that are giving, there were black people on the island.
Yeah.
So even that narrative that he was on this island, and they, some folks made it seem like he was on this.
And then
island.
all these photos came out, and they were.
I had to run back from across the room real quick. Sorry, I ran from across the room.
Did y'all hear that?
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Shout out Nurse Lady T, waking it up.
Give it up, lady.
With the $1.99 super chat early. She says, y'all like, share, and subscribe, and we appreciate y'all. Much love to the TRN. Thank you, Nurse Lady T, and thank you to the fam for the continued support. Let's go.
There were two problems. One, there was black people being pointed out that weren't Nolan, that were being called Nolan, to your point, Ariva, because there were the black people. And then Coffin Daffer flagged one for me where I was like, what about this one? And she's like, yeah, I saw that picture. It's from some other party from like another period. It's not from now. People just put it out because it's popular to be putting things out. The Horn Island thing, people said to me, no, there were a lot of boats there, Chris. If it happened, you'd see it. Horn Island is almost a mile wide and 10 miles long. I think that factor is going to wind up being a very big deal here in terms of filling in what we don't know. Now, what cuts against that, Jennifer, if the Cajun Navy guy is to be believed, is that he wound up very close to where they said he was last seen. And that would mean what? That I'm wrong, that he had traveled far away where nobody could see what happened. Or there is a water event that wound up creating that coincidence where he actually didn't end up while he was alive where he was last seen, but he did wind up where he was last seen because of currents or something like that. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I mean, you hit on it. The water is the X factor here. What it did to Nolan, I mean, clearly there was interaction with the water, with the riptides, with the waves, and that can move a body. It can cause severe force within just seconds. It can grab you. I don't know if you've been in a riptide, Chris or Reva. Yes. I have. It is unbelievable. 1 second you're standing there, and the next second you're being swept out. And it's something that I think everybody really needs to take note of too for the future. These kids going to this island, the boats, how they line up can make sort of a barrier to all of that to a bit. But if you get to the side of one where that water freely flows in and out, that's all that had to happen. And they're also busy having a great time. Can happen like that.
So looking at the Marine Survey, there were riptides reported that day. There were strong current reported that day. How so? Because the boaters in interviews mentioned that they had to tie things down to the boat. They had to secure them because the water was running and things were moving away. So is that a rip tide or rip current? No, not necessarily. Usually for a rip current, you need specific conditions that create that trough effect where there can become somewhat of a vacuum. But the search and rescue personnel described the area as being a known dangerous current area that can be rip, can be what they'll call in that business a washing machine, where it circles you around. Now, what cuts against that? Well, that they go there a lot. He had been there before. You don't go and tie up at a place where you're going to die if you go swimming. Okay, that's counterintuitive as somebody who anchors up on a fairly regular basis. You don't pick a place to anchor up where some kid may drown. You find other spots. So it's again going to come down to the context of who, what, and when about what happened to him. But what is the chance, Jennifer, I'll start with you on this, that you don't know? At the end of the day, somebody saw him and he was kind of over there and then he was gone. I didn't see him anywhere. And nobody says they were with him last, because you got to assume that person would come forward, right? I saw Nolan go into the water. I said, come back. And I couldn't reach him and I didn't want to go in. I was scared. And then he disappeared. I never saw him again. There is no such witness statement. So what happens if there is what is the likelihood that even in a crowded place, you could wind up alone in a way where nobody saw what happened to you?
Well, two things. I want to say that we don't know, because we don't know of the 60 statements if one of those people has said something like that, right? Because we haven't seen the full case file, all the witness statements, and nobody has come forward publicly to say something like that. But to your question, I think that's possible. And that is the scary thing about a case like this, where if we don't end up having really solid answers, we're going to have to rely wholeheartedly on the medical examiner's report and on the toxicology, because I think it's possible, Chris, that nobody did see his last moments.
Ariva, some people have said, and this is so racial, it's so racial. Oh, well, maybe he's not a good swimmer. The kid grew up in the water. He's a college athlete. He's a big, strong kid. But I will tell you something. He's a big, strong kid and a college athlete, okay? You know what he is when he swallows one mouthful of water? He's a toddler. And I know that firsthand, both in learning rescue and needing rescue. If that happens, and it doesn't matter that you're big and strong and a college athlete, if you swallow any water, you're in a rip current, you're as helpless as anybody else. I've seen it happen. I've been in it myself. But putting aside the racist bullshit, which is always an overlay in these situations, we are going to have a problem if there is no explanation.
I don't think so. I think if there's a thorough investigation, if there's a transparent investigation, and there's a fair process, I think the community, the family is prepared to accept the reality of what happened, and that what happened being no foul play or no intentional harming of Nolan by these friends that he went to that island with. I still have a lot of questions. We're talking about a place that has these riptides. Are there warnings? Where are the warning signs? Are there lifeguards? Where are the lifeguards that are out there? So
no lifeguards.
So, you know, and so
no
you're
lifeguards. I don't think looking at the satellite thing, which has gotten pretty good now, the Navionics, I don't see any signage. And again, I don't think you tie up as in a place as a savvy boater that has hard rip currents. I know of one place where that happens by
Chris,
me.
We may see the focus move from the kids to Horn Island. Maybe there should have been signs. Maybe there should have been a lifeguard. Because I have seen some reports that said there have been folks who have drowned on this island before. That drowning is not
I saw those.
Not common, but you know, as lawyers, the lawyers may pivot from, well, the kids all check out, their stories check out, but now let's look at the island. Why is this dangerous, island without one warning sign? Why aren't there lifeguards when you know it's the 4th of July and you're going to have kids out there and you're going to have folks who are drinking? So my civil litigation had mine already of moving to what was going on with that island. So we may see this case take a very different turn from how it's presenting itself today.
Right. I mean, the case that people keep pointing to, oh, this happened just last year. Someone dived in the water near there and dived into shallow water and had a catastrophic injury. That's different. That's not what we're talking about here. But the northwest tip of Horn Island, which is where they supposedly were, that place is both known as a frequent tie-up place, but also a washing machine. My guess is that you're probably talking about the ebb and the lee. You're talking about one side of the island where the currents are, and then the other side of the island where you're shielded from that. So you anchor on one side, and the other side has the currents. But that is something that is going to be looked at. There are no lifeguards. You got limited cell service, which is another reason that maybe the phone isn't as handy. And it ain't easy to get there, right? I mean, it's 10 miles offshore. So, I mean, you can get there kind of fast, but, not as fast as you would like. But again, the vexing question is, how does someone die in a crowd and not be noticed? Now, the answer to that question on a law school exam, Jennifer, is because he wasn't in a crowd or because he didn't drown. So one of those two things is a false premise. And here, the more likely false premise is that he wasn't in a crowd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And you can be shielded as you see all these boats raft up. You can be on one side of the boat and be walking along, 10 feet off the shore in 3 feet or 4 feet water and get snagged. I mean, it can happen that quickly, as you well know.
Green light on, Mars. Green light is on. That comes without question. Who was that to say, we'll leave the light on for you? Green light is always on.
So all it takes is an obstructive view because of a boat that can obstruct the view.
Hey, Ariva, let me ask you something. Tyler Perry, Colin Kaepernick, NAACP. Why this case? To your earlier point, and as you know, I've covered this before, a lot of black people go missing. A lot of black homicides that are undiscovered, get no attention.
We are about to watch the 5th installment of the Officer Tatum interview with Nolan Wells' friends. This time he interviewed what's his name? Is it Tristan? I don't know. We'll get to it. We're going to let them finish out this final thought right here. I'm going to let him ask her this question, let her answer. Then we're going to stop this. I'm going to come to the chat and show love to the top 10 and the most aggravating chat itself. And then we're going to get on to the next part of the next segment, guys. Let's go.
A lot of beautiful, actually, I'm covering a case right now. Beautiful black woman, postal worker, video. Jen, we talked about this. There's plenty of reason for suspicion about her last moments. And I don't see the celebrities lining up for her. But this one, yes. Why?
Something about this case, I think, just resonated with the community from day one. Let's blame it on the climate. Let's blame it on the politically charged, divisive climate that we're in. Let's start, checking the boxes. Mississippi, the history of racial trauma directed towards Black people in a state like Mississippi. An all-American kid, football player, handsome, tall, seems to have it made on his way, going big places, doing big things. Beautiful family, presents well, camera, central casting in terms of the family, just an amazingly beautiful family. And then that photo of this Black kid surrounded by all white kids. And at the beginning, remember, nobody talking, no one talking. This may have been a very different story, Chris, if at the beginning we heard he drowned, the kids found out about it, they rushed down to the police department and started telling what they knew. All of that, I think, would have changed this. But it was that initial period of Black kid on a trip with all white kids. He ends up dead. They stop. They don't talk. They lawyer up. They don't talk. I just think it was all of those things, confluence of things, that caused this story to be elevated to this national attention.
Yeah, I think the actions after the occurrence is what brought the suspicion. I think the group actions after the occurrence is what brought the suspicion on. Would some people have already felt that possibly before then? Yes, of course. Some people were going to feel that suspicion before then. But did the actions of the group collectively fuel that? Of course. Come on, guys. Let's be real. XO Males just sent the gift. I think it was a GG. Oh, it went away. I didn't see it. Thank you, Males, for the gift. Oh, a GG for 10 jewels. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me show some love to the most aggravating chat in the game right now, first and foremost. Thank you all for rocking out with the RUMORNATI Network. I got to say this before we get into anything, though. The videos, photos, or documents you're about to see are being used under the Fair Use Act for education, entertainment, commentary, research, or satirical purposes only. The views and thoughts expressed within them do not necessarily represent the views and thoughts of the RUMORNATI Network, its annoying host, or its aggravating but ever so amazing chat. Let's go. All right, now, welcome back to the RUMORNATI Network, the place where the conversations are real, the opinions are loud, and the chat is the most aggravating chat on the internet. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and get comfortable, because once you step into the RUMORNATI, you are officially part of the conversation. Now, listen, on this channel, we talk about everything the internet is buzzing about, from hip-hop news, celebrity drama, viral moments, cultural debates, and the stories that people are afraid to ask questions about. And the best part of this whole show is the chat, because the RUMORNATI chat is not quiet, it is not polite, and it is definitely not boring. This is the most aggravating chat on the internet, and y'all never hold your opinions back. So if you're here right now, go ahead, wake the chat up, drop where you're watching from, hit that like button, and let me see those opinions in the comments, because around here we don't just watch the news, we break it down, we question it, and sometimes we aggravate the entire internet while doing it. So get ready, let's get into it, let's go. All right, let's show some love. Show some love, show some love. Top 10, number 1, we got Nurse Lady T. Number 2, we got XO Males. Number 3, we got Anonymous 1. Number 4, we got Shade of Sage. Number 5, we got Rain 2315. Number 6, we got Sharon Palmer, number 7, we got Slim Jones McEasy. Number 8, we got Mike from the Ville. Number 9, we got Geo Roman. And number 10, we got J Mastermind. Oh, I got to get to J Mastermind's comments as well. We were having a discussion back and forth. Shout out to J Mastermind. And then number 11, honorable mention, because I see the name. Shout out to Zach Williamson. Shout out to you. But most importantly, shout out to the most aggravating chat in the game, the most appreciated chat in the world. John Oval, Austin, Texas, just tuned in. Ruger World forever. Yo, say what's up with them folks. Shout out to Ruger World. Nurse Lady T, I see you. Jennifer Hodge, what up, Jenny? I'm just Jenny from the block. Y'all send some good energy Jenny way, y'all. Rolanda says, we are all fed up with losing our children with no answer or arrest. So please, we have to stop acting like it's not a thing. Let's go. Geo Roman shouting out Jenny. Nurse Lady T, I see you. Tony B says, they talk to cops immediately, you dumb fuck. Lawyered up after getting thousands of death threats and accused. You fucking morons. Hold on, bro. You could have said that, and I'm going to allow you to stay. I'm not sensitive like that, right? Because you did make your point, but please don't be disrespectful, bro, because there's a way to, you could have said all of that without the insults. And I know you don't care, but around here, we like to give everybody at least half of a chance to be respectful. Because you weren't initially racist, you're just a tad bit disrespectful. It's cool. Please don't refer to anybody as that, bro. We're not calling names in here. Other than that, have your opinion. Feel how you feel. Express your point. We don't have to agree at all. We don't have to love each other. We don't have to like each other. We don't have to get along. We just have to be able to coexist. You don't have to respect me. Just don't go out of your way to disrespect me, and I will do the same for you. That's all, bro. Human decency. Conduct yourself civil in an adult manner, like you have some effing sense and some respect for yourself. And when you do that, then the way you treat others, regardless of if you agree with them or even like them or not, will still reflect that you are a decent human being. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, Tommy 2 Months says, well, maybe because the national news pushes racism constantly, they are afraid. Jennifer Hodge says, hey, everyone. Brenda Mack says, they told a lie. They need to go to jail. Nurse Lady T says, facts. Rain says, that's right. Sharon, the Most High, is in the midst, and he saw everything. Mel sent to Gigi for 2 jewels. After Truth says, interview a real black folk. Sharon Palmer says, God is in the midst. This is the start of exposure to an ongoing problem. Mel says, I'm just unsure as to how he drowned when he was on the boat. Gregory Carr says, we're talking about Nolan. Hold on. We finna get to the content.
Did y'all hear that?
Shout out Mike from the Ville. He says, I demand a recount. And if you racist bastards, you and your 2 brain cells can't see past the color. That's why I made the comment a super chat. It's yellow. Also, hit the likes and show the host some support. Super duper salute to you. And thank you as always. My brother Mike from the Ville, super duper salute, man. Let's go. And with that being said, no more comments are read at this time. Please continue to stay engaged in the content. We will catch up on the comments. I'm going to shout out the names that I see for the comments that I was not able to read, unless something just happens to catch my eye. I see Rain 2315, Nurse Lady T1, Mike from the Ville, Life and Death. Is that Choose Life? Oh, Choose Life, Life and Death, Choose Life. Miss Lady to you, Geo Roman, Sharon Palmer, Gregory Carr, Miss Lady to you, okay. XO Male, Sean, is that She Love Harvey, Kevin, Brian, Wally Lancaster, Zach Williamson, Timothy Richardson, Leisha Burton, Linda Mercado. Okay, and that's about as far as I can go up, except for Emma Brown and Zach Williams. That's far business. Let me go anyway. We're going to go ahead and continue, guys. We're going to move forward with the content. Thank you all. Let's get to this officer. His name is Tatum. There's a guy named The Amazing Lucas that refers to him as Officer Tantrum. I think it's pretty funny. But let's go ahead and get to the 5th installment of what happened to Nolan Wells, according to the account of his alleged best friends. And you can find these interviews in full uninterrupted. If you don't want to hear the interruptions, you can watch this uninterrupted on Officer Tatum's channel, The Officer Tatum. Other than that, thank you for rocking out with the RUMORNATI Network. And the title is Another Nolan Wells Best Friend Breaks Silence About What Happened, Part 5, Trayston Shepard. Let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Shay, I see you. Ruger World Forever, I see you. Geo Roman, I see you. Nurse Lady T, I see you. Stars, Jeff, I see y'all. He said, ooh, wee Hayes. Ooh, wee Hayes, I see you. I hope I said that right. Tommy Two Touch, I see you. Yin Yang, there you go. Yin Yang, I see you. Thank you all. Erica Jackson, hello, Erica Jackson.
Did you have anything to do with Nolan's death?
No.
Do you have personal knowledge of someone directly?
Miss Erica and all my children, John Oval, Claudia Smith. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. I'm going to get to the chats later, guys. I got to let the content roll. That's what we are here for. Much love. Thank y'all for the continued support. Run the likes up. Run the chats up. Stay active. And we're going to stay lit. Let's go.
Did you have anything to do with Nolan's death?
No.
Do you have personal knowledge of someone directly in your friend group having anything to do with Nolan's death?
No, not at all.
So I saw you on television, you had an interview, and I felt like you laid out a few things that I think the world needs to know and be clear about.
Okay.
And the first one is the relationship that you had with Nolan. Can you explain your relationship with Nolan?
Yeah, I will. So his mom got on TV, as everybody has seen, and said that she didn't know me. And man, that can't be farther from the truth. Me and Nolan, I met Nolan in 9th grade. In our second block class, it was math.
I saw this going around. Everybody was saying he instantly called the mother, said the mother wasn't being honest. You can. Truth and her saying she don't know you. Two things can be true at one time. Let's go.
He was one of the first guys I made friends with. It was somebody I made a connection to. Like
Walter Williams said he's definitely on the other side. Tatum is the one chasing this.
We sat really close to each other. And all he did, he turned around and asked me for a pencil when I first met him in 9th grade when I moved to Ocean Springs, man.
Hold on. We got some check-ins, people saying where they from, and I got to make sure I shout that out. I see Minnesota in the building. I see Minnesota in the building. Oh, my face is covered just because I choose to, brother. That's all. Everybody's not here to put their face out and chase a face. And if you sit around and just wait, you're not going to hear nothing wild.
It was tough, and the relationship there has always been best friend in my eyes. I never wanted to take away how close somebody else was with Nolan, but Nolan was my best friend. That was a guy I knew I could call at any point in time. He called me at 11 o'clock on the 4th to see where I was parked at.
Texas in the building, 757 in the building. Hold on, y'all. We about to get to it. Little Rock, Arkansas in the building. Virginia is in the building. I see y'all.
Man, me and Nolan have countless nights of him giving me advice on my girlfriend, on my life in general. Nolan has been the only friend, and I love my friends and my best friend in this group of guys, but Nolan has been the only person that ever tell me.
Ohio, Georgia, Jersey, Illinois, everybody in here, Newark, Massachusetts. Let's go. Hold on, y'all run it up, man. Y'all run it up real quick. Texas is in the building, heavy always, too. Shout out to Texas, man. Shout out to Texas. Palm Beach, Florida is in the house. Let's go. Let's go. North Carolina's in the house. Cali in the building. Let's go, Cali. Let's go, Washington. Washington like West Coast Washington or Washington like DC with Washington? ATL, ho. ATL in the building. Shout out to you guys. Oh, I love to see it, man. I love to see it. People from everywhere. Walter Williams says, if you're telling the truth, then why all the in between? West Dallas, Texas. That was very specific. Not just Dallas, West Dallas. I don't know where Stop 6 is. I look at a lot of stuff on the internet, but shout out to Dallas. As soon as I hear Dallas, or is that, no, that's Fort Worth. I might be mistaken. Dallas is Oak Cliff and Sana and North Afghanistan and okay. Gotham City in the building. Oklahoma in the building. Let's go, guys. All right, guys, I got to get to the content now. We'll come back with some more some more support for the chat. And we'll call out the top 10, call out the supers, call out where you from, all of that. I got to let the content roll, y'all. I thank y'all. Super duper salute. Oh, New Orleans. Let's go, New Orleans. Oh my God, some of the best food ever. South Carolina in the building. Let's go. Fort Worth, Texas in the building. Let's go, Fort Worth. Nah, Slim Jones. Nah, listen, when it rains, it pours. But guess what? We come from the mud anyway. You're going to be good, bro. You're going to be good. You're going to be good, brother. Florida, let's go, Florida.
He turned around and asked me for a pencil when I first met him in ninth grade.
Kentucky, man, let's go. Wyoming in the house. Oh, Kimberly Will. It's Kimmery, sorry. It says hush money checks done went out. Let's go, Baltimore, man. Let's go. Y'all know I got a special place in my heart for Baltimore, man. They call that Bodymore Murderland, but not because of that. That's not the special place in my heart. It's family there, man. Shout out to B-More, man. I'm from Whoville. Shout out to Whoville. Hood Year, Arizona. Never heard of it. Shout out to Hood Year.
He was one of the
All right,
first
guys, I'm about to mute up. I'm going to let the content play for at least 3 minutes, maybe even 5. I done talked enough. Let's go.
It was somebody I made a connection to, like off rep. He was an athlete. I could tell he was an athlete. When I walked into class, we sat really close to each other. And all he did, he turned around and asked me for a pencil when I first met him in ninth grade when I moved to Ocean Springs. Man, it was tough. And the relationship there has always been best friend in my eyes. I never wanted to take away how close somebody else was with Nolan, but Nolan was my best friend. That was a guy I knew I could call at any point in time. He called me at 11 o'clock on the 4th to see where I was parked at. Man, me and Nolan have countless nights of him giving me advice on my girlfriend, on my life in general. Nolan has been the only friend, and I love my friends and my best friends in this group of guys, but Nolan has been the only person that ever tell me like he's proud of what I've done. He's proud of how hard I worked. He's proud of me going overseas to go play ball. That was my guy. Like, that was my best friend.
Yeah, and so how does it make you feel when the media activists are coming out and alluding to the fact that you may have something to do with what happened to Nolan on that day?
Man, that hurts. It hurts is an understatement. I beat myself up every night I lay down. I beat myself up anytime it crosses my mind. Because in my head, if I wasn't drinking, if I didn't get into that altercation, maybe I would be able to do something. Maybe I would have saw something. Maybe I would have told Nolan, hey, man, you're not going with that girl. Just come back with us. We're going back a little bit later. We can go meet up with the guys later. Maybe it just plays out different. And then the fact that they're going to play that is I'm already trying to mourn my friend's death as is, and I'm blaming myself for it. To put that in my head is a next level of hurt that can't be truly explained. Because it's hard to put into words. Generally, it's backstabbing from a sense of a community that I thought I had with my skin color, and they stay so strong together. And I'm supposed to be one of them, but I come up and I speak, and now I'm the person to blame. Now I'm not dark enough for them. I'm not black enough for them, and now I'm the issue. It doesn't make sense. In my head, it doesn't make sense.
Was Nolan, I mean, obviously you were in a friend group, but the way the media makes it seem is that almost as if Nolan was the only black person in this whole friend group. Now, they don't even mention you. They don't bring you up in this whole thing when it comes to, what men.
Hold on, wait a minute. We got to get back to that.
And, they stay so strong together, and I'm supposed to be one of them. But
see that?
We can go meet up with the guys later. Maybe it just plays out different. And then the fact that they're going to play that is I'm already trying to mourn my friend's death as is, and I'm blaming myself for it. To put that in my head is a next level of hurt that can't be truly explained. Because it's hard to put into words. Generally,
That's understandable though. Just take the suspicion away. Take your personal suspicion away, right? And just be empathetic for a moment. I know y'all gonna say, what about empathy for Nolan? I'm just saying, let's just say at the end of the day, these 4 kids are, let's just say, don't attack me. Let's just say I have my suspicions, but I'm not convicting anyone. But let's just say at the end of the day, these four guys or however many people's on the boat are absolutely clear of all charges. They had nothing to do with it. It's a lot of pressure to be mourning the loss of a friend and also be blamed for that loss. You know what I mean? So you can see why in some sense, someone would seem a bit detached or not as emotional. It's like, I just got my life threatened. But I'm just saying, what if? We have to throw another perspective out there. And hold on, man. Y'all send some good energy and some love to my homeboy, Slim Jones, man. Hold on, bro. Slim, man, hold on. Get that taken care of, bro. Get that taken care of now. We ain't saying don't worry about it like that. We just talk about, we shake shit off and keep going. But nah, nigga, get that shit fixed, taken care of for sure. You got to get rolling to get to that. Ching. Super duper salute to y'all, man.
it's backstabbing from a sense of a community that I thought I had with my skin color, and they stay so strong together.
Let me ask this guy a question though. Like, of course we know all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Do you live? In your mind, do you see yourself as a black man? I just want to know that. Like when you're in your day-to-day, this is just my personal question. I'm not asking anybody to feel how I feel. I'm not saying that he owes an explanation, but first of all, he looks like he just got off work or he just finished mudding or something. And I know everybody has dialect. Dialect could be based on region, but it's very Southern, good old boyish, but he's also from Mississippi, right? But there's people from Mississippi who don't have that. Yeah, man, I was just down there. Me and Nolan, we were best friends, man. God damn. He talked more like Hank Hill. Did Nolan talk like Hank Hill? I'm just asking. Do we have any audio of Nolan talking, and does Nolan sound like Hank Hill? Because he sounds more like Hank Hill. And at this point in time, you can call me out for assuming and being judgmental. Just go ahead and do it. Cool. Because I have to wonder, like, when you say, yeah, because of my skin color, I thought they would be more, do you even identify with your skin color in your day-to-day? Is my only question.
And I'm supposed to be one of them, but
as of right now, anyway,
I speak, and now community that I thought I had with my skin color, and they stay so strong together, and I'm supposed to be one of them, but I come up and I speak, and now I'm the person to blame. Now I'm not dark enough for them. I'm not black enough for them, and now I'm the issue. It doesn't make sense in my head. It doesn't make sense.
Was Nolan? I mean, obviously you were in a friend group, but the way the media makes it seem is that almost as if Nolan was the only black person in this whole friend group. Now they don't even mention you. They don't bring you up in this whole thing when it comes to what happened at Horn Island. So what's your take on Nolan being presented as like the only black kid in a group of all these white boys?
That's crazy, man. I know we've spoken a little bit, but that friend group that I'm a part of to this day was the first friend group I was in when I moved to Ocean Springs as a new kid coming in. I never knew any of them. I'd known one, kind of, sort of, back from grade school because we went to the same private school together. But that was it. And him being the only black person minority any of that measure is insane. Our friend group is diverse from the max. Like, we have a mixed guy. I mean, we had Nolan in our friend group. There's an Asian a part of our friend group. There's a Latino that they're trying to perceive as white. He's truly authentic Mexican. His parents are from Mexico. They came over legally and they did everything right, and he's been here since. It blows my mind because our friend group is not a friend group that sees race. Our friend group sees what good you do for other people, what good you bring, and how the type of person you truly are and where your morals lie. That's one thing in common. Me and my friends might not agree on everything, but our morals align. Our morals know. So for them to even make that narrative up really shows you have no idea what it's like down here on the coast. You have no idea how tight-knit Ocean Springs as a community is. You don't understand it. You don't see the thousands of kids in the high school football stands cheering their team on. Nobody cares what color you are. We're there to have fun and to just live. And that's how Nolan lives.
In the middle of Mississippi, nobody cares what color you are. I'm not going to... Your girlfriend is Caucasian. I want to know what was the altercation that he got into about. First of all, why are you so dirty at this damn interview? Not that that matters. But what was the altercation you got into at the beach or at the island, excuse me, about? Where does this veil of what is this new thing, right? What is this, a new Mississippi that they're going to start hashtagging new Mississippi? With all of a sudden, one of the most racist parts, one of the most historically racist and most known, obvious, the most generally known and historically racist parts of America, all of a sudden, oh, nobody here sees race and da-da-da. You sure you didn't get into it at the beach because you have a Caucasian girlfriend? And I'm not saying that that's the case. I don't know what the hell happened. What did y'all argue about, a boat?
That's how I live now. I've grown up and I have more big boy stuff, but in high school, all I cared about was going to hang out with my guys. And I mean, on a personal level that leads off of it, is like, it got me in trouble with my girlfriend just because I wanted to be with the guys. I never once thought, man, they look at me different. Man, I'm kind of an outcast to them. No. All their moms have always welcomed me with open arms. Anytime I needed anything, I knew I could call them and their parents, and they would do anything in the world for me. So with Crump pushing this narrative, it's wrong. Yeah, it's completely wrong, especially about our friend group.
Yeah, I find it.
Billy's mom didn't want me playing in his yard when we was young. His sister used to sing rebel songs in the yard and say how, oh, you can't sing these songs, you're not allowed. You're lucky to get to play in our yard. As we got older, we separated and me and Billy ended up having problems. He started.
Especially after talking to you, meeting some of the guys, that it seems like there was an agenda. But can you walk us through just your perspective from that day? I don't know if did you go with them initially? Were you a part of the group that went to Horn Island?
So I wasn't, clear that up. No, I was not on the boat with them. Yes, I was a part of the group that was supposed to go out. So the only reason why I did not go on the boat is I got begged to go, but my uncle, we also took 12 people out on our boat, not including us two, so 14. And my uncle, many people on the boat thing throughout the day, so all these people are going to be drunk and they're not going to want to do the extras that nobody sees about going out on the boat, right? And so I told Wyatt that, and oops, my bad, but I told him, I told him that, and I told him everything which was go to plan. We were leaving a little bit earlier than them. Only calls me at 11 o'clock. I missed his phone call. He called me twice. I missed both of them. I saw Wyatt and Nolan on the boat. They pulled right in front of our boat, and they were screaming. I turned my head and I was like, yo, there's a spot over there, where they end up anchoring out. I helped them set their stern anchor. From the time they showed up until now, going back to it, 20 minutes before they left, I was with them. That's who I was with. I spent all day with them, minus the morning time before they got out there. But from the time they got out there to the time they went back in, I was with them.
What time was that?
Those are my friends, man. Those are my guys.
Yeah, I want to get a few more details.
I'm sorry about that.
I know that. Yeah, go ahead. I know that you were all over the news because there was a perceived fight. People, this is the thing that gets me, and I want to clarify this. When I saw the video that they put out on the internet claiming that Nolan was saying, "Give me my effing phone back," the coach yelling, "Put me in somewhere. You're somewhere on Horn Island."
So, after the fight, I didn't stay on Horn Island much longer. So the objective. So I was really upset. So with you hearing me yelling, my uncle had told me to get on the boat and wouldn't let me back off the boat. Obviously, I was really mad and I wanted to fight. Wanted to get off. What wasn't smart, man. Mm-hmm. And so I was on the boat. I'm yelling, and shortly after that, I left the island. I left probably 30 to 45 minutes after I got into a fight. They were ready to get me back to land because I was really mad. I was genuinely really mad.
About
but
what?
The last time I saw Nolan, I was walking to the boat. This was before the fight. It's me and my old lady. We had just got out of a group of people. Nolan was walking towards Wyatt's boat. I was walking in the opposite direction towards my boat. And I dabbed Nolan up. I made a slick comment about something, actually about the girl that he was with. I made a slick comment to him, us joking around, and I kept going.
What was the comment?
And not even 10 minutes after that is when I got into a fight. The last thing I told Nolan was, "All right, buddy, I love you. See you later." And I'm glad I said it. I had been under the influence a little bit, and that's probably why I did say it at the time, just, getting all lovey-dovey, but...
Who got the liquor for these kids? Are any of these kids, is anybody that has been questioned 21 or over, who got the liquor for these kids?
I'm at peace I said it. I'm glad I said it. That was my last encounter with Nolan. I was telling him I love him.
We can all nitpick and say, "Oh, this is weird. That's weird. That sounded weird." But what's up, FBA Judah? What's up, Back Road Runner? What's up, Cheryl Benton? What's up, American Flag? Geo Roman, Hype Prototype, Nurse Lady T. I'm gonna show love to the chat in a second, y'all. Super duper salute.
Did you have any? So you leave the island. Did you have any encounters or association with these phones, with the keys? Did you have any connection to any of that?
I did not. So what I know, Warren started, I got my first phone call from Warren at about 9:20. I didn't answer it. I was asleep. I'd been on the boat all day. I didn't feel like going to party anymore. I went to bed. So I got my first phone call about 9:20.
All these young kids going to bed and going home so early all of a sudden. How many of us would go party and just be so beat that we go to bed so early when we're young? Don't we try to stay out all night? Don't we, when there's nothing else to do, we still trying to find something to do to stay out until 4 o'clock in the morning or stay at a friend's house? Why has everybody, I don't know, why did they all just turn it in so early today? I'm just asking.
And I didn't wake up again until a little after 11 o'clock. And that was to my brother coming in the room being like, "Hey, Warren's trying to get a hold of you. You need to answer the phone. They're looking for Nolan." And I'm half awake. And
facts. You see that every one of them keep touching their nose. Every one of them keep touching their nose during the interview. And
I pick up the phone. And by this time, nobody had came to the house to grab anything. And Warren gets on the phone and he's just like, "Hey, man."
And I know, yeah, I see you. What's that? Amping Hard says, brother, you obviously don't spend time in the ocean. A day on the boat drains you. A day outside drains you. A day in the sun drains you. A day cutting yards drains you. A day doing construction drains you. You're always drained. But you know what you do, especially when you're young? You find energy to party. Always. It's very rare. And now in the entirety of the friend group, all of a sudden is just beat to death and doesn't have time to party when I'm sure they four-wheel and hunt and do all types of other. Boating isn't their only outdoor activity, so I'm sure they're trained for this. These guys are also athletes. A day out on the boat isn't just going to kill them, especially when they were partying. They weren't out there doing no heavy fishing, pulling in marlins. They weren't bringing in big gates with thousands of fish in them. You know what I'm saying? They weren't like, come on, bro. They weren't. Let's be real.
Man, he was like, hey, have you talked to him?
Then they weren't even on. You act like you talk about that. The ocean is different. They were docked, getting in and out of the boat, playing and laughing and joking. Come on now, bro. I see what you're saying. But I don't agree. We can agree to disagree. But you do have a good point. But at the same time, I'm giving him credit for being young, athletic, strong, continuously active, and according to them, according to them, always engaging in outdoor activities. So just that one particular day, everybody's tired, everybody's beat to the ground and ready to just turn it in early, seems a tad bit odd to me. Just my opinion, but I'm one man on the internet with a mask on, so take it with a grain of salt, if at all.
Nolan, anything else? I was like, no, I haven't talked to him, man. He was with that girl last time I knew. And he was like, okay. He was like, man, we can't get a hold of him. We don't know where he's at. And I was like, man, it's Nolan. He's probably just out somewhere with that girl. Like, get a hold of the girl, you'll probably find Nolan. It's no big deal. And he was like, all right. He was like, but we're starting to freak out. We're getting on the phone with Coast Guard. I was like, okay. And at that time, he had already talked to her.
Nope. What makes you part of the problem is not paying attention to the fact that I said this is just my opinion and take it with a grain of salt. And I also respected the fact that other people feel that their opinion is right. I also respected and said that that was a good point that was made, not only gave my opinion. You assuming and jumping to conclusions makes you part of the problem. I have an open mind. Obviously, you don't. You want somebody to be wrong so bad or right so bad. I only backed up my feelings. Nope. I'm not prosecuting. I haven't convicted anybody. Obviously, you lack listening skills. There's two people I see here that lack listening skills.
His mom, Nolan's mom. And
you lack comprehension. Two of y'all I see lack comprehension, and I'm sure everybody can see who it is. No need to call their names. I appreciate everyone, though. What I'm saying is, after I honestly just, did you not hear me say he made a good point, but this is just my opinion? Obviously not. You lack comprehension. Small brain? Possibly.
He was getting on the phone.
Room temperature IQ? Possibly.
With the Coast Guard, and I'd called, I need to be specific about this. I did not call Warren's phone. I called another one of our buddies' phone, and it was on speakerphone. They were all together.
Expose the truth. I appreciate you, bro, but no, it has to be done. Sometimes you just got to let a person know that you see how foolish they are. You see, you can kill them with kindness, and I don't even want to say the word kill them. You can address them in a kind manner and still make your point. A lot of people will go out of their way to be disrespectful and think that it takes profane language and act in an uncivilized manner to get their point across. I like to beat you at your own game. You use your words and you use them wrong, and then I point out your flaws. That's what I like to do.
I was talking on my other buddy's phone, talking to Warren.
It helps engagement. Shout out to y'all. I'm not going to stop it for like the next 3 minutes unless he says something super significant. I know I talked a lot. Thank y'all for continuously running the likes up. Thank you all for the engagement. I respect everybody's opinion, whether we're on the same side of the coin or not. It doesn't matter. As long as we engage respectfully, we don't have to love each other, like each other. We don't even have to get along. All we have to be able to do is coexist. Don't go out of your way to disrespect me. Don't go out of your way. You don't have to respect me, but just don't go out of your way to disrespect me. And I will give you the same human, civil decency. Let's go.
He was dialing Coast Guard because he hung up the phone and was like, hey, this is them, bye, and hung up the phone. And that was the last time I talked to him until the next morning when we all decided Well, when I woke up about 7 o'clock that morning, we had all decided that we were going to go out on the boat and go look for Nolan. Wyatt had already had his boat still in the water. We took that boat out. It was
What day are we talking?
That's Sunday morning.
Sunday morning on the 6th, the 5th?
So it was Saturday the 4th was the 4th of July. The 5th was Sunday. We were on the water from 9:45 to 11:50, 12 o'clock era, about lunchtime. While we were on the water, we talked to a rescue guy, and he told us to get off the water and said that they kind of had the island and the water under control. That's the professionals, man.
Yeah.
They told us to get on social media and find out any information we can. And by that time, we had already talked to a good amount of people out there. So it just made sense. So
hold on, we going to that audio. We going to the audio.
We concluded our search and started to search all socials and started sharing everything we could and try to get a hold of anybody that could have talked to Nolan, that Nolan possibly would have reached out to. And Monday 6, I got told that we were taking out another boat to Chandelier at 7. So I put my boat back on the lift, and I went to McDonald's, and then I got the news after I left McDonald's that his body was found. So it was already a plan that we were going and searching and trying to do everything we possibly can. And that's all I wanted to do. Is I wasn't there to help him out in his last minutes, but now I feel like as a friend and as one of my guys, man, I do everything in my power to help now. And that's why I have reached out to the family. I have donated to the family, and I have given them just your normal death gifts, I would say, as you pay your respects.
The fuck is a normal death gift? I have given them normal death gifts? What is that, bro? Oh my.
And
just because he said something I don't like doesn't make him guilty. I'm not convicting him. That was just that phrase. What the fuck was that?
Involved in this case made it better or worse?
100,000 times % worse.
It's made it better. Do you think Benjamin Crump being involved in this case made it better or worse?
100,000 times % worse. Because why on the Tuesday after?
The most emotion he ever showed was when he was asked about Ben Crump. Again, this is not me convicting him. This is just something I noticed. I'm no professional at all. I'm a guy on the internet with a mask on. I live in a damn tent. All right. Anyway, the whole time he's sitting, arms folded, very little movement. They asked him about Ben Crump. You talking about Nolan? Never mind.
In this case,
that doesn't mean anything, though.
100,000 times % worse. Because why on the Tuesday after where has your civil rights been broken? Where has it been shown? You brought Benjamin Crump to stir up a community that's already tight knit.
Hold on, I don't like the way he just said that. Like he told the mother, you brought Benjamin Crump to stir up a community that's already tight knit. No, I brought Benjamin Crump because I've never been in this situation before. I've never had a child with a mysterious death before, and I'm not getting answers. What are you talking about? You brought it to stir up. Maybe something needs to be stirred up in a tight-knit community. Maybe it's too tight-knit. What the fuck happened?
Yeah,
nobody can tell me what happened to my child. And this is the only person I see, or the first person that comes to mind. And as a grieving mother or father, I don't know how, there's no blueprint on how to deal with this. I just reached out to the first person that comes to mind when you see or suspect something wrong. What do you mean by, stir up? Bitch, I'm going to keep stirring until I find out what happened to my child. What do you mean?
We might not be best friends with everybody. Stir up a community that's already tight-knit. Yeah, we might not be best friends with everybody, but I promise, if you're talking about Ocean Springs as a whole, Ocean Springs is going to have Ocean Springs back. 110%.
Whoa. Hold on. And that serious look on the face, like, oh, I'm telling you one thing about it. We're going to have each other's back. Even to the point of y'all will help cover up something that went wrong to make sure that nobody in Ocean Springs gets in trouble. Is that what you're saying? Why is he so laser focused and so much attitude when he's making that point? Oh, yeah, it's like we're going to show you. Oh, yeah, we're going to show you. You think you can come against Ocean Springs? Oh, yeah, you're not going to get answers now. Ocean Springs is tight-knit, and Ocean Springs has Ocean Springs back. You just watch this. Believe you me. What the fuck? No, hold on. I personally don't like. Man, I don't.
Do you think
feel a way about that?
Benjamin Crump,
I personally
being
feel a
involved
way
in
about
this case,
that.
made it better or worse?
I personally feel a way about that. Keep that in your mind before you start commenting and trying to say I'm convicting. Me personally, my own opinion, one man on the internet living in a tent with a mask on. If you want to debate that, if you want to take that to the bank, if you want to cash that check, and that's on you. I'm just telling you what I think. Get mad about it. Who gives a F?
Worse.
100,000 times % worse. Because why on the Tuesday after where has your civil rights been broken? Where has it been shown? You brought Benjamin Crump to stir up a community that's already tight-knit. Yeah, we might not be best friends with everybody, but I promise, if you're talking about Ocean Springs as a whole, Ocean Springs is going to have Ocean Springs back, 110%.
Yes.
We back each other. Everybody I've seen, we back each other. And for them to push this narrative and really push it, just shows me is like you have no idea who you're dealing with or who you're messing with.
What?
And I think he's taking the grieving parents and manipulating and turning this and making it sound all bad, because nothing's like that at all. No.
Have you gotten death threats?
I
Because I know that the other young men that I spoke to about this, especially the white young men, they're getting all kind of death threats. They're being accused of killing Nolan. Did you get the same backlash and threats that some of those guys have gotten?
Yes, I've gotten the death threats per se, but I've also gotten the threats along the lines of where it's like I've been cast out of the black community. I've been called white. I've been called a wetback. All these things. I've been sent photos of me and my grandmother, and they've been told that she's the devil. She's just looking for the time to kill you. You need to be careful and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, man, if y'all want to know the story, the only people that showed up for me in my whole life has been my white side of my family. So for y'all to sit there and drag their name and to drag me down, and I'm supposed to be one of y'all, and you're supposed to have my back, and we're supposed to be in this together, and it's really eye-opening.
Did it shock you that it turned this way?
Feel how you will about this. Is about Nolan. This isn't about tearing down this young man, even though we can be very critical at times. I'm talking about we, period. People, period. No matter what side of the coin you fall on, people are very critical. I'm not interracial, so I don't know the plight of an interracial young man. I don't know the plight of not being this enough or that enough, whatever you may be mixed with. I don't know the plight. I don't know that part. I can speak on how I feel about it personally, hearing it. I can tell you what I think personally, but I don't know that struggle of you not this enough or you not that enough or you look like this, but these people these people of this ethnicity or this skin color are taking care of you more or accepting you more than these people of this ethnicity or this skin color. I don't know that. I don't know. I can tell you how it sounds to me. I could tell you how it sounds to me, but I'll just be trying to put oil on the inside of a can of grease. Everybody probably already said the same thing, man. Like, so ain't no use in me saying it. Just I'm gonna let it play.
And it's like, man, if y'all want to know the story, the only people that showed up for me in my whole life has been my white side of my family. So for y'all to sit there and drag their name and to drag me down, and I'm supposed to be one of y'all, and you're supposed to have my back, and we're supposed to be in this together, and it's really eye-opening.
Did it shock you that it turned?
So now, do you have something against all black people? Because what it sounds like is, you're about to turn your back, and my question to you is, and then what?
Turn this way, meaning that you see everything happen. Nolan was your friend. From all the young men I talked to,
because it's eye opening for what? Like, is it just? Are you just gonna realize that all skin folk ain't your kin folk? Are you gonna realize that you may be detached and don't know enough about? Possibly detached and don't know enough about, because I don't know what he knows. Could you be whitewashed? Could you be just as cool and just as in the know or whatever and aware, and we're just prejudging? Who knows? But like, I want to know now, just based off that comment, when you say when it's really eye-opening as in what? Like, what are your actions after that? What do you mean when you say that? I need to expound, because it sounds as if, and going with your demeanor, it's like, okay, I'm going to feel a way about what, the entirety of an ethnicity or a certain element of an ethnicity. That's all I want to know.
It seemed like Nolan was the life of,
because when you don't grow up around it, who shapes your thoughts or your ideas about that ethnicity outside of the people who teach you, who aren't of that ethnicity, and social media, who will always take the lowest parts or the most detrimental parts of that ethnicity and display that first. So what drives your ideology about who you say you're supposed to be accepted by? What's your idea of that?
For the party, everybody loved Nolan. He gets along with everybody. Everybody's cool, and everybody feels like Nolan made them feel like everybody's his best friend, right? I mean, everybody felt connected to Nolan. He ends up losing his life in an unfortunate situation, which nobody knows exactly what happened. Did it shock you that it turned into some racial thing?
Yes.
Why is he not saying, man, well, what happened then? Everybody.
It's racial, I do agree. Now, it going famous or going viral, that part didn't shock me. Thinking about it and being honest, like,
let's get
that's
to
not
this
a surprise, because everybody did love Nolan. Especially around here, everybody loved Nolan. So for people to repost that, they know Nolan. I mean, they know he did not have one hateful thing in his heart. And racism, no. That was a shock. That was a complete shock.
Why do these two kids seem rehearsed? Why does it seem so scripted and theatrical? Racism? No. That was a complete shock. Like, come on, bro. This shit. This is just my thoughts. I'm the one speculating. It's just speculation. It don't hold no weight. I'm not saying nothing I'm saying here is a fact at all. So it don't even matter.
His mom and from his stepdad, like, that's a shock. That's an utter shock, because it's like, first off, I don't know how to word this. Nolan wasn't fully black. Nolan's mixed. Nolan has a little bit of Asian in him. You don't hear that, though. You don't. So to turn it as like somebody's harping down on Nolan because of the color of his skin.
Well, there y'all go. Y'all wondered why he didn't have the same last name as his mother. Leave it on somebody who ain't in the family to tell all the family business. Like, what does Nolan being mixed with Asian have to do with anything? When you see Nolan, you automatically see a young black man. What does mentioning, oh, he has a little bit of, what's a little bit, motherfucker? Do you know the percentage? What does that even, what does that mean, and what's the significance of mentioning that? Oh, well, he has a little bit of Asian in him, so that should take away some of the sting of it being about a black kid. That should take the race thing away.
You don't hear that though. Fixed. Nolan has a little bit of Asian in him.
What's a little bit of Asian? What the was his dad mixed as well? Was his dad like black and Asian, and or somewhere down the line, like his dad's grandfather was mixed with it? Like, well, Nolan has a little bit of Asian in him. And how you know what percentage he got in him, fool? That don't mean shit.
You don't hear that though. You don't. So to turn it as like somebody's harping down on Nolan because of the color of his skin, you don't know us. You don't know our community. It's crazy that people are just running with a lie. And
you can't erase the history of Mississippi, bro. You can't erase historical facts. I'm sorry. Even though your new friend group, y'all may be the anomaly, y'all may be the ones who are trying to make the difference, you can't erase the historical facts. That's my only point.
so easy for people to
we about to get to the phone
from
call.
the outside looking into Mississippi's history per se.
Exactly.
But it's like you're looking at history. Let's go to each state's history. I bet they're not the best with black people. Like
exactly. That's why we questioning so much shit around the country, fool. It ain't just this case, fool. The girl that just got hung in Miami, the 16-year-old girl that they just found hung. Where was that at? They just found a 16-year-old girl hung, but her feet was touching the ground, and she was hung up by a truck harness. Where the fuck would the 16-year-old girl get a truck harness? But then they were saying, oh well, she was having fits, manic fits, and was suicidal before that or something. I don't know. But yeah, fool, we looking all over. Not just there. What are you talking about?
people change. You learn history so you don't repeat it. Everybody knows that.
What's the craziest?
Oh, so we're gonna act. Come on now. I'm not gonna nitpick every little thing he says, but we're not gonna pretend like it's not still division, racial division, injustice, and all that shit right here in this country, bro. We fight it every day, and it's crazy how you can sit there and act like it don't exist when people of a different skin tone and ethnicity will point it out numerous times throughout the day. But you as a black, so wanting to be accepted by black people, right? Can't just admit that there is racism in Mississippi in the midst of it. Oh, the history is gone. No, it still exists. You could say, oh no, it still exists, but not in my friend group. Yeah, it might be some racist history there in Mississippi, but not in my friend group. You should have said it like that. Oh, don't ignore history because that's over. It's not.
Lie.
Let's get to this phone
that
call,
you seen
man.
floating around there about this situation. I know there's a lot of mysterious things, but like, what to you? What's the craziest thing that you've heard somebody say about this?
That my buddy in the photo was his lover. That was wild. That's been the utmost craziest because it's like
What? I ain't even
all
heard no
these are
shit
how
like
racist the
that.
coast is.
What is he talking about?
That Nolan knew. That he really trusts myself, and also when I left the island, I could have.
I don't even know what that was talking. That motherfucker said some weird shit just then. Let's go to this call. Where is it? I got this call, bro. Let's go to this call and then let's go to this psychotherapist. Hold on, give me a second.
Tito Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn.
Tito Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
Alright, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
Alright, well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either Jerry Atkerson. I think it's Jerry Atkerson. Try that.
Alright.
I know we have a membership, like, guaranteed. I don't have to tag on
unless you have a membership number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at 2.
Alright, and is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How many? Alright, do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
Alright. Alright, do you have your current GPS coordinates?
Somebody said check his chest in the background. What the?
Need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
Alright. Alright, do you have your current GPS coordinates?
Let me go look.
That man is sauced.
If not, I can send you a text message.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir, I'm available.
North 3 degrees. But 4672.
Alright, 4672. Alright, and you were breaking up a little bit. Can you just repeat it one more time to make sure I have it correct?
Sorry, look.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, what?
So you're breaking up. If you need assistance, do you have a VHF radio?
Shout out to
Now, many of you
Chronicle
have had
Speaks.
questions about the CETO call audio that I previously played. Once again, this recording is publicly available online. Although the regular hold music is playing, you can still hear what appears to be a frantic situation unfolding in the background. Nothing has been added to the recording. Now on to new developments. Fortunately, the call was recorded in stereo, meaning the dispatcher's voice plays through one channel while the young men on the boat can be heard through the other channel. I simply muted the dispatcher's channel, allowing us to focus more clearly on the background conversation. This audio works best if you use headphones.
Hey, we're at the
The dispatcher's channel, allowing us to focus more clearly
You slow
on
it
the
down,
background
sorry.
conversation. This audio works best if you use headphones.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Oh, shut the fuck up! What'd you say? Hey. It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now. I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that. I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't have the tag on here. It got ripped off. Reach me at 2. Yeah, everybody's on for
Everybody saying Bart. It looked like Mike from the Ville saying it in the Homer Simpson voice when he choking like, Bart, why you little? Ah! This is crazy. I hate to say run the likes up. I hate to do stuff like this during these type of situations, but we are here. It is YouTube, guys. Run the likes up. Stay engaged. We're gonna get the crowd involved. We'll open up the lines in a minute, the Discord in a minute. Not now, but I'll open the Discord in a minute if anybody wants to come up and speak. Trying times, man. Trying times, but stay engaged. Hit the like button. Let's try to stay respectful. I see all the BS going on in the chat. $, the Ruminati Network on Cash App if you want to show some love. The Super Chat is also open, the PayPal as well. And 20% off all Ruminati merch. I identify as a multimillionaire hats. 20% off right now on Teespring. You just go to the main page of this channel right here. Go to the Ruminati shop. Right above the subscribe button, you'll see the links. You can click the Discord and come up and chat right here, or you can go to the link tree right here and get to the Ruminati shop, where you can get you one of these or one of these Keep the Guys shirts or something like that. But anyway, let's continue, guys. Let's keep going.
What? No, we do not need that. Let me go look.
Did somebody say, oh, I think he messaged me? Would that explain why they say the phone had been dumped?
North. All right, are you ready? North 30 degrees. By 4672. Sorry, look. What do I need to send you? Yeah, what? No, we do not have the VHF radio. Okay, my coordinates are 30 degrees by 14.684 north, and then west by 88 degrees by 46.79. Yes, we are at Horn Island. Yes.
That's just this audio cleared up. Same audio.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
Dude sauced. Dude is sauced. Let's watch some more of this interview, man. There's a lot to be questioned. If you truly want justice for Nolan, it wouldn't matter if somebody was guilty or not. You would just want the answers to come out, right? I saw Mike from the Ville. I don't know who he was debating with, but he said every time that a piece of evidence come out, you guys dismiss it as a lie or false or AI or something like that. You don't truly want answers for what happened to this kid. In my mind, that makes me think that you feel like there's some sort of suspicion and you want the people who may have had something to do with his demise to get away with it. It's been suspicious from the beginning. Let's continue with some more of this interview. This is crazy.
They left, including myself, and also when I left the island, I could have named 50 people I really trust behind the helm of a boat that Nolan knew, that he could go talk to. Even if he was left, there was tons and tons of people out there. There was 10 boats that camped out at Horn Island. I know a boat that didn't leave Horn Island until 8 o'clock that night. Nobody would have ever seen. Nobody,
were they questioned?
Nobody would have ever left somebody on Horn Island. That's a place of everybody loves to go and hang out. That's their peace. Nobody wants to see anybody out there, especially in the boating community. And I can speak on that, like, genuinely. I grew up in it. That's absurd. It's absurd.
So can you help me understand the fight a little better? Because I interviewed Warren, who's your friend, and he had made mention that his brother was involved in the fight. So can you explain who actually started fighting? And were you fighting his brother or were you fighting somebody else? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, and I can see now, especially.
How's somebody gonna come in a stream with hundreds of people watching and ask us what we heard without giving us a chance to answer and then say we need to catch up? We just played the audio, dummy. Watch how you walk in.
Actually, it's all been blown out of proportion. But so originally, I'll go back a couple steps. Original, me and my girlfriend, I wouldn't even call it an argument. She was upset that I lost the lid to her koozie. I dropped it in the water. Generally speaking, that's how it started. And I dropped her new koozie in the water. And so she started to let me hear it and basically told me I was paying for it. And she was really upset with me and mad about it. And I needed to kind of sober up a little bit. And so we're walking back. And during that time, this guy that I'm not friends with, I know of him. I don't know him. I didn't even recognize him when I got in an original fight. He had butted himself into my conversation and basically was telling me how I needed to handle or address the situation with my girlfriend. And man, we weren't even yelling at each other. We weren't arguing. It was more along the lines of, I literally told her, I was like, man, I just want a beer. And she was like, well, go get one, blah, blah, blah. Well, when I said that, she had ducked her head underwater, and he had walked up, and he told me that I needed to watch how I talked to my girlfriend. And I looked at him, and I told him, I was like, this has nothing to do with you. We're good. This has nothing to do with you.
Was it a Caucasian guy that told you need to watch how you was talking to that Caucasian girl?
And he sat there, and he was like, well, I'm going to tell you, I better not hear it again. And I looked at him, and I was like, you need to excuse yourself from the situation. And after
I just want to know that.
I came out, he swung. He threw the first punch. And we went back and forth. I remember at one point in time, I look over and I see my uncle, and my uncle's yelling at me to get in the boat. I stopped fighting. As soon as me and him made eye contact, I got in the boat, I'm sorry.
So you stopped fighting and the other guy just stopped too? Like it was like a timeout, like a video game, like, or time. And he just understood. I don't know. I know that's a small thing, a small detail in the midst of all this, but at the same time, who just stops fighting? You stopped fighting. Did the other motherfucker stop? Because if you hitting me, you don't just say, okay, I beat you up enough. I'm done now, man. Let's go. No, I'm about to beat you.
And I listened to my uncle.
And what was Warren's brother's involvement in this?
And so I was getting there. So when I'm on the boat and they're trying to cool me down, I'm trying to get back off the boat because I see the crowd forming up on the island. Well, my little brother and Carter are like really good friends, like best friends, I would say. He's over at our house all the time. Carter heard him still talking crap as he's getting out of the water, and I'm on the boat, and the situation is like done and over with, right? Well, he sees him talking crap, so Carter gets up and more along the lines of defending me. And for what? He was like, well, if you got a problem with Tristan, we can handle it right here.
So what's the racial breakup of these people that are involved? So the guy that you fought was
white.
I'm
the only black guy involved in this whole entire thing.
Yeah.
And at all. Like, I mean, I don't know. Carter is white. The dude I got in a fight with is white. Mm-hmm. I was the only black guy involved with this. My girlfriend's white. My uncle's white. There was no other black guy involved. And I know Ben Crump tried to run with a story saying that was Nolan. Mm-hmm. Well, it was like, nice try, but there was another black guy on the island, so now your whole narrative needs to change again.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, but that was Carter's involvement, and that was kind of it. Like, after the fight, man, I remember getting off the boat. I got off the boat, and I walked up to the island, and I was telling people, I was like, hey, like, I just need to cool off, like, let me be. This is after everything is dispersed. There was no crowd anymore when I walked off the boat. And I was like, let me be. Well, again, my uncle yelled at me, and I was like, I don't care what you're doing. Get back on the boat. We're leaving. So I got back on the boat, and we left shortly after that.
Mm. Well, at least I know you from the interviews that you've done. Some of the other boys haven't spoke out at all.
Yeah.
You've had a chance to use your voice to put the truth out there. You did an interview with, I think, ABC, and you also did an interview with the Rolling Stones.
That was my first interview, yeah, with Rolling Stones.
The first interview was Rolling Stones, then ABC?
And then ABC, yes.
Now, from what you told me before this interview is that the Rolling Stones gave you a very fair interview. It seemed like the young lady who interviewed you articulated very clearly what you told her with no fluff, no nothing added.
And she cared. She really did care. And she made sure that what she was telling was the complete truth behind everything with me, with my uncle, and then also fact checking on her side as being in media. And it all aligned, man. And when they came out with that, it was really genuine. When I felt that, it brought me to tears because it was like, that's the truth. That's exactly how it needed to be worded. And I appreciated her. I appreciated her a lot. And we took her out to Horn Island this morning to do another little bit. But she's done well, and that's the truth. Her story is nothing but the truth.
Now, ABC, on the other hand, did they treat you fairly, or how did they go?
So, I don't want to say they treated me unfairly. The quotes that he used in the article, he did ask me for my permission on it. And I gave it to him to an extent. I changed up some stuff and that he initially didn't change when he came out with it. And then the voice recording, that's really what gets me, because that's what the main people are listening to, right? They're not going in and reading in depth in the article and really seeing everything. They're just going off about what's on TV because people don't like to read these days. But how they made that and cut a lot of my voice sounded horrible. Sounded bad. I didn't like it. I didn't like that side of it, but it already aired, so what was I going to do? Really?
And at one point, I could have sworn you said that you didn't feel comfortable doing the interview on camera.
Yes.
And did you do that because you didn't want to be visibly promoted on television, or what? How did that?
So the side of that, and I didn't want to be on camera for two main reasons. I never wanted to do an interview and get famous. I never wanted any attention, per se, famous attention. I don't care about the negative side of it. I'm doing what I think is right. I never wanted any positive attention, let's say. All I wanted to be is for my guys to know that I had their back and I got Nolan's back. And I didn't want the investigation.
Just me nitpicking. This is not me convicting anybody. I'm just saying, I would have liked for you to acknowledge Nolan first, seeing that Nolan is the one here who is suffering the injustice. Nolan is the one here whose life or loss of life is in question. I would have liked to hear you say that first. But that's just me nitpicking in my personal preference. Doesn't mean anything.
Especially on social media side, I guess, and with Ben Crump and their legal team, to go down the wrong path at all. That was my sole purpose, is to tell the truth and to clear up lies. When I talked to ABC, they wanted to do an in-person interview, and I told them no. I told them no because I'm getting death threats. And I don't like them. It is what it is. I'm not putting myself out there any more than I need to. And I'm not sitting behind a camera and so for somebody to watch me talk about my best friend. And I told him, I was like, if you want to do an article, it's okay. I'll talk and you can do the article on that side of it. I never originally wanted to go on TV, period. He convinced me into only using my voice, which now I regret, and I wish I would have just sat in front of a camera so you can visibly see the cuts. But they manipulated that interview pretty well. They made it sound a lot worse. And I know for a fact, most of that interview,
I get what he's saying.
You can't understand me because I was in tears the entire time talking about it. When he asked me about Nolan's death, and he put it if you listen to it carefully, he cuts it and I just say die. Nobody wants to see him die. I don't talk like that, man. That's not what I said. I did say die during at one point in our interview, but I said we didn't want to see his life being taken from us, period. They didn't put that. They twisted some things around and they made
life being taken.
They almost made a different narrative to where it's like now people are coming out and lying, and it's like, man, no.
Did he say?
I was wondering if you were gonna. I remember.
It's once again, maybe this is me nitpicking, right? Maybe I'm being too particular, but there's a difference between, black people. We say gone too soon. It be stuff like that. He said, him being taken from us. When we say that, when I heard that my cousin was taken from us because it was a homicide. You understand? When we say somebody is taken from us, black people, if somebody dies of natural causes or an accident or something like that, we say gone too soon. It's not very often. We don't say, his life was taken from us. Nigga, never mind. All right, I'ma just.
They almost made a different narrative to where it's like now people are coming out and lying. And it's like, man, no.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were gonna. I remember I was like, I could have sworn he said he didn't want to be on camera, and they put your picture all over the news. I mean, how did you feel about that? Was that something that you were okay with them doing that, or? I
kind of accepted it. I accepted it because I gave Rolling Stone permission to do it. So I know that's where they probably got that original photo of me and him standing next to each other.
But still, that's kind of weird that you tell them, I don't want to, even if you gave you the permission with Rolling Stones, you go, I don't want to be on camera. And they put your picture up there on camera anyway.
I agree. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's odd, but I generally speaking, man, like I'm worried about my family's safety, but I have no regrets in what I've done and what I've said. Not one. I sleep better at night now that I've spoken up, and I felt like I've done my part of the good, and I'm willing to help any other time if anything else pops up that I can't help with. And I genuinely just want the truth to be heard about it all, and it kills me and it breaks my heart that my best friends are going through this. Like, this is at home. This isn't something I'm just watching through a screen, listening to you talk about it or listening to somebody else talk about it. I'm living this. I'm getting the calls from my buddies crying, asking me how I'm not scared out of my mind. How am I okay dealing with all this?
So one thing that kind of stood out to me, there was a big contradiction on television, was you said in your interview that you were really, really good friends with Nolan, his best friend. Nolan's mother said on television that
He just said everybody was his best friend. He just said all of my best friends are going through this. Like, how many best friends you got, bro? Golly. How many best friends can we really have? Them motherfuckers say, oh, and all of my best friends are going through this. It breaks my heart because they're going through this. I ain't hearing enough sympathy for this. Is just me once again. And I see fools, oh, you're picking a race card. How? This is supposedly a black man. What are you talking about? This is a dude that you would identify as black. How am I picking the race card when I'm just saying I don't like the words he's saying? You so hell-bent on race, you don't even realize you're making an argument when there's none there about race. And I said nothing about race. I said I don't like the words he's using. And I said something that he should, if I said something that relates to black people that black people usually say. I didn't say what other races don't do. I just said what black people do. But thank y'all for the engagement. Keep running it up. Keep the hatred in your hearts.
as if she don't even know you and she don't know who you are, and you're definitely not, at least is what she alluded to, you're definitely not his best friend. So what's the truth in that, and how did that affect you? How did that make you feel?
So yeah, so she originally touched and she said that we weren't childhood best friends, and she's not wrong. She's not wrong. I moved to Ocean Springs in 9th grade. I met Nolan in 9th grade, as I've stated in my Rolling Stone interview. Nolan was my best friend though. She can believe it or not, that was my best friend. No, me and her never had a sit down in-depth conversation like me and you're having now. It was always, hey, how are you doing? I've been to her house multiple times. I've taken Nolan to school multiple times. I've left my vehicle at her house multiple times, even including the new vehicle I just got. Has gotten left at her house for 2 days. And I just got it. I haven't even had it for 4 months. My vehicle before that stayed at her house for almost a week. Me and her son went on trips together. We went to Florida for spring break together.
I don't know the ins and outs of this, but he could be telling the truth. And like I said earlier, two things could be true at one time, right? This is a different generation. This is a text message, FaceTime, parasocial online friend having. I come from a generation where you had to go knock on the door for your friends to come outside. You had to ask the mother's permission. Things are different now. So there is a possibility that him and Nolan could have been good friends and the mother didn't have that same idea because maybe the way she grew up or maybe how she perceives friendship and especially best friendship is different than today. Like back in, I didn't have 12, 13, 14 best friends. Oh, these are my best friends. No, this is my best. These are my buddies. These are all my friends. And when you'll know, oh, that's my best friend, or these are my two. It might be 2 max, 3 max, something like that. It wasn't no whole, oh, I got 18 best friends. Things are different now. So he could be telling the truth right here. I'm not going to discount what he's saying just because the mother may not feel the same way.
You don't know me? I'm in all these homecoming and prom photos as our whole friend group. Me and Nolan are standing next to each other. You don't know me. Nolan's last name is Wells.
He sounds
My last name at one point in
vindictive.
time was Walker. We were by each other in the alphabet when we graduated. Man, that's mind-boggling. It's insane. Me and Nolan have multiple classes together. Me and Nolan has always stayed tight. Nolan has always known that he could call me whatever. And like I've mentioned, like I got a new phone number 2 months ago. Nolan was the only friend that had my phone number out of the friend group, and I still call them my best friends. But we communicate on other social medias. But it's like Nolan called me on the day to meet up with me on the 4th out there. But we weren't good friends. We weren't close friends. And when I say best friend, man, I don't want to take away anybody how close they were to Nolan. But when I think of a best friend, I think of Nolan. Somebody I can call, somebody that I've stayed up and I've cried to. That was one of my best friends, generally speaking. She might not think it. That's okay. Me and Nolan knows where we stand with each other. And period. And Nolan knows that.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. You know, with
Hold on. We got to take a quick break. I got to show some love real quick to the top 10, man. I got to show some love real quick to the top 10, y'all. Let's go. Number 1, we got SSO Gamer. Number 2, we got Mike from the Ville. Number 3, we got Nurse Lady T. Number 4, we got XO Males. Number 5, we got Slim Jones McEasy. Number 6, we got Geo Roman. Number 7, we got After Truth. Number 8, we got Gregory Jacobs. Number 9, we got Frank Simpson. And number 10, we got Shada Sag. And then number 11, honorable mention. Well, 11 and 12 because I see him. Honorable mention, Sharon Palmer's. And number 12, FBA Judah. Super duper salute to y'all. Let's go. Shout out. Now let me show some love to the chat. Most aggravating chat in the game. Most appreciated chat in the world. First and foremost, 50 likes. We aggravating. 100 likes. We break the glass. And guys, we've been way past that threshold. I just didn't want to stop the content. I'm going to do it all now. Get it out the way. We're going to get back to the content. Thank y'all for being so aggravating. We done got the 50 likes. Let's go. Y'all aggravating as hell. But how the fuck we get a whole 100 likes? We done broke the glass. Let's go. It's time to celebrate. Super duper salute to y'all, man. Most aggravating chat in the game. Most appreciated chat in the world. We done broke the glass. Broke the glass. Let's go. Thank y'all. Run it up. Yeah, I know. Thank y'all. Super duper salute to y'all, man. Super duper salute to y'all. Going crazy. Now, let me show some love to the chat. I see Miss King. I see Nurse Lady T, Mike from the Ville, Shada Sag, Gulf Coast Preppers, Miss Ladybug, Don Rello Gambino, SSO Gamer, Miss King, After Truth, Brenda Mack, Shada Sag, Nurse Lady T, Wisdom is Key, Mo Better, Slim Jones McEasy, FBA Judah, Shirley Pop, XO Males, Elk Woodson, Edwin Ragnarok, Robin Ruffner, Mike from the Ville. Did I say Mike from the Ville? I said it again, damn it. Linda Smith, The Wild Creative, Cynthia. Is that Cynthia Emerson? Back Road Runner, Gregory Jacobs. How far up is it gonna let me go? Nurse Lady T, Harvin V LLC. All right. Shout out to y'all. I'm gonna read a few of these chats and we're gonna get back to it, y'all. I'm gonna open the Discord in a minute. Shout out to you, Miss King. Mo Better says the faculty. The fact they're scared of Ben is crazy. How? That's how you know it's a cover-up, because then why would you care? He can't stir anything that ain't there. Facts. Max. Mel says, I want everyone to like the live. Is that Rich Renity? Rich Renty? Rich says, so this guy's a disgrace because he tells y'all to stop with BS. Miss Ladybug says, Don Rello, real talk, Shirley Pop, Shirley. What Don Rello say? Shay says, Fulio's mom did an interview with Vlad. Golf Coach says, nope, haven't changed my stance. It was a statement and has nothing to do with Nolan. You do it. Don Rello says Tatum only objective is to discredit the black people. He doesn't care about what happened to Nolan Wells. Miss Ladybug sent gold coin for 10 jewels. Let's go. SSO Gamer sent the gold coin for 10 jewels as well. Hold on. I got to make sure I shout out the fan funding too, because one thing about it, that's what keep the lights on, the tent rent paid and the lights on.
Did y'all hear that?
Hold on. Oops. Mike from the Ville with the $9.99 super chat, super step, and Nurse Lady T with the $1.99 super chat, super step. Let's go. She says like, share, subscribe. We appreciate y'all. TRN, Rumonati Network. Mike from the Ville says, I demand a recount, and if you racist bastards, you and your 2 brain cells can't see past color. That's why I made the comment a super chat. It's yellow. Also hit the likes and show the host some support. Shout out to Gregory Jacobs for the high five for 100 Jews. SSO Gamer said the for 440 Jews, a stay hydrated for 550 Jews, and a gold coin for 10 Jews. And shout out Miss Ladybug for the gold coin for 10 Jules. Let's go. Thank y'all. Super duper salute to y'all. Much appreciation. Now we're gonna go ahead and keep rolling the content. Shout out to Elkwood. Shout out to 704. You know they will get y'all up out of here now. John Oval, I see you. We don't have to agree. I'm still gonna shout y'all out. It don't matter. I'm not talking about him particularly. I'm just letting y'all know. There ain't no discrimination around here until you give me a reason. But other than that, we're gonna keep the content rolling, y'all. Let's move on. Wait.
No. After watching the interview, that was the clip that stood out to me the most. And
this is a guy named Elliot Connie. Shout out to Don Lemon. He interviewed this guy. This is a psychotherapist, and he analyzes the Nolan Wells case and says that, well, the question is, are they hiding something? Let's go.
And I want to tell you why. But first, I want to point out, I find it very interesting that both of the friends so far have agreed to be interviewed by that particular interviewer. He clearly is not asking questions interested in the truth. He's there helping these young men defend themselves, not even like to push their narrative. Now, I want to be very clear. I am not saying that these kids are guilty of anything, but I am saying that interviewer is not interested in finding out what actually happened. In that clip, he asked the young man, he asked Tristan, did you do anything to Nolan? Or do you know of any of the other friends that did anything to Nolan? It's a very interesting question to ask. If he was in fact interested in the truth, when the young man said no, he would have said, then what do you suspect happened? He would have said, do you know anyone?
Elliot,
yes,
those are
sir.
great questions. And you are a professional psychotherapist, and a lot of people have been wondering the same thing, but you have an education and a title and history behind you. So talk to me. Good morning, by the way, and thank you for doing this.
Good morning, man. Thanks for having me.
Why'd you decide to do this and go over these videos and analyze them? I think it's amazing.
Because I think it's important. I think that people don't really know what they're looking at, and people are making very harsh judgments on both sides. And being a trained clinician, I wanted to add context. I wanted to let people know that there are things happening there that if you pay really close attention, you can see it.
Go on.
Like, for example, I have been interviewing people as a psychotherapist for 20 years. I also train people, including police departments, law enforcement, drug courts, on how to interview people. I've been to countless family courts and talking people through divorce and interview children when they are subjected to abuse. Like, when you ask a question like, do you or any of your friends have done anything to Nolan, or do you know anything about Nolan? To answer so calmly and just say no is incredibly unusual. Like, there should be some level of, even like, I'm offended to be asked that. I'm upset that I'm in this circumstance. I want everybody to know that I had nothing to do with it, and I can't believe this has happened. That answer tells me that he's not in disbelief that this has happened, and that there's something there that he is not willing to disclose. Now, in full transparency, I don't know what that is, but if I were interviewing him, I would be very interested in there is something behind his answer, and I would want to be able to find out what it is. The other thing that I think is really important in this circumstance is, regardless of whose version of the story you believe, that interviewer is talking to one of the last known people to be seen with Nolan. And a really relevant question to him would be, given that you are one of the last known people to be seen with Nolan, what do you think happened? Because your hypothesis is going to be more credible than anyone else's hypothesis in the circumstance, because you were actually there and one of the last credible people. And what that would do in this scenario, which is why I think journalistically, which obviously you can speak more of that than I can, you would get an answer on the record. So like you would be able to get him to say, here's what I think happened, XYZ, da, da, da. And you now have him giving his version of the story. But at no point in that interview did he ask him to describe his version of the story. All he said was, in essence, it wasn't me and it wasn't anybody that I know. And that is just super odd. That's very unusual.
A couple of things, Andy. I don't know if you have the one where Elliot talks about him, this young man, I forget what his name is, Wyatt or something, when he goes back to this, where he's looking and he's describing what happened and taking him back to the scene. I want to play it a little bit and then, yeah, let's listen if you have it, Andy. I'm not sure if it's...
There's another video that I saw of Warren Hudson discussing the details of the day that he got separated from Nolan Wells when he went missing. I want you to watch this clip and let me explain the things that stood out to me as I watched it.
People say that you guys just left Nolan behind. I've seen reports of people saying that you just left him. I see reports of people saying that you asked him to get on the boat. You told him to get on the boat, he didn't. What's the truth in that?
Well, Wyatt was having boat issues and the bilge wouldn't pump. So the bilge is basically a pump that releases water from your boat when water comes in. So I opened the back hatch and there's water up to the batteries. And that is obviously not good. There's water almost coming over the transom, which is where your motors sit and which is the, you know, by the stern, like in the back part of the boat. So obviously we were in an emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat. It's not like we didn't ask Nolan or we just left Nolan. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with. And the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah.
I'm a practicing psychotherapist. I've been working with clients who've been struggling with issues like things like grief for over 20 years. And this young man is behaving very unusually. I'm going to give you some examples to demonstrate as to what I mean. Number one, the person doing the interview, whose name I will not say because I do not support him, he brought him to the location where this happened.
Okay.
That should have been...
So you're saying, and you can explain it to yourself, but I just want to see, this is how you've been analyzing these videos. You're saying that wasn't traumatizing to him. You explain it.
Yeah, I mean, again, like that's incredibly unusual. It is worth noting that everybody does grief and trauma differently, but I should see some evidence of grief and or trauma. And if you think about the context of that video, so this person, Warren, described Nolan Wells as his best friend and brother. 2 weeks later, he did not attend the funeral. And he did not ever seem like emotional or frustrated or sad that he couldn't attend his best friend's funeral because he didn't want to be there and do all the uncomfort, which is fair, but that should at least be hard for you. And then 2 weeks after, you go back to the last spot where you saw your best friend. There was no change in his vocal tone, his body language. There was no emotional trying to hold anything back. He was far more comfortable talking about the details of a bilge on a boat than he was about anything that happened to his supposed best friend. These things are just incredibly odd. And as a psychotherapist and someone who interviews people, like that would stand out to me as super duper unusual.
Stand by, Elliot. I'm fixing something.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So Elliot, let me ask you this. When you...
Even Don Lemon have technical difficulties, so I don't want to hear nothing when my shit mess up.
When you talk about that the person who is doing the interview, don't you say, doesn't it say something about who he picked to do this, what kind of person he would go to in order to give his story? That was something that stood out to me. It's like, why is he going to this guy? This guy's like by no means some impartial person that just wants to get the truth. He has an agenda.
I absolutely think the choice on who was going to do the interview was strategic, and they clearly are talking to someone with an agenda that is in line with their agenda, and they're not interested in truth.
and this is very important. Like, people have attacked me on social media, which is fine. I don't care. But I've said often, this family deserves justice. And I think people hear that, they hear the word justice, and they tie an accusation, because justice sounds like you think someone needs to be convicted. But justice just means truth. That's all justice means, the pursuit of truth. And this interviewer is not actually interested in truth, because he asked no truth-pursuing questions. He's only asking, in fact, at times leading these two boys to give answers that will make them look more and more innocent. And I think that's a terrible job.
You're muted, Don.
As a professional person, you are not, you haven't treated him. He's not your person. He's not your patient. But you have learned some things over the years, right? In your profession.
Hold on, damn. Don got production over there. Somebody said, you're muted, Don. Damn. I never know when I'm muted till the chat tell me. Oh, who the fuck was that?
As a professional person, you are not, you haven't treated him. He's not your person.
Nigga.
He's not.
You're muted, Don.
As a professional person, you are not,
You're muted, Don.
As a professional person, you are not, you haven't treated him. He's not your person. He's not your patient. But you have learned some things over the years, right? In your professional.
My man got the white G-Shock on.
What else? Because you've done a number of videos. What else stands out to you? He's not the only friend. There's another friend. And each of these friends, I find it interesting. Maybe it's just these newfangled times, but your best friends and your parents don't know and have never really met your best friend.
That's what I was wondering. That's what I was wondering. The best friends in the parents. It's a new day and time.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, how much time you got, Don? There's a lot of things I say.
How much time do you have? We'll take you for as long as you can, because I know you're on a schedule, but go for it. But let us know when you have to go too.
There's several things that stand out to me. Number one, you're referring to this person again, best friend, brother, and the mother is saying, especially the second boy, whose name I can't remember, Tristan, I think, something like that. She's saying, I've never met him. Again, that is incredibly unusual. And he is saying, like, we've been friends for a long time. And then he later had to admit, I didn't even live in that area until the 9th grade. And the mom is saying, I don't even know that boy. But do you want to know the biggest thing that stands out to me that's common amongst these two interviews we've seen so far is the body language. Now, I want everybody listening, if you didn't know anything about this topic and you muted the video and you just played the video, you would see a few things that are really important. Number one, both boys are sitting back from the interviewer. Now, one of the things that you'll know as someone who's trained to attend to these things, oftentimes a conversation to the person being interviewed is almost like an inanimate object. So if we're talking about something that makes me uncomfortable, we have a tendency to like lean back from that uncomfortable thing. The other thing is, if you pay attention to his arms being crossed, that is very, very indicative of a secret being held, because we literally protect ourselves like this. That's a very common way that people show that they are what we refer to clinically as closed off. So much so that if I'm working with a couple, for example, and let's say,
oh my gosh, doctor, look at this. I didn't even notice that. You're so right. I'm sorry.
No, yeah. So let's say, and by the way, I have a master's degree, not a doctorate, but anyway, I don't want to be compared to other people. So let's say, for example, I'm clinically sitting with a couple and the woman suspects her husband is having an affair. And I ask, is this accurate? Some version of is this accurate? And the husband goes like this. No, that's not true. I would immediately be thinking, why are you closed off? And very likely would ask, because that's a very, very common thing. And if you look at both interviews, both boys are distancing themselves from the interviewer, which is in essence distancing themselves from the topic itself. And the second boy sat the entire time closed off. I would be very interested as to why. And the interviewer should have asked, why are you so closed off?
And did not.
No, did not.
Can we talk about this interview? You said because you don't support him. I had to say the same thing. I don't know what, my mom watching me, she goes, who raised him? Look, that's just my mom. And I don't understand, well, I know what it is. It's like making money off of that, or that's in my opinion. Yeah. It is a grift. And unless you are just that, far gone. You're a psychotherapist. Please explain this behavior to me if you can.
I think Well, number one, I don't know this person personally, so this is just my assessment from what I've been able to observe. And in the world we live in now, there are massive rewards for just getting clicks and views and things like that. And there are lots of people, and I'm sure, Don, you see them, people out there watching, you guys see this. There are people where you have to question, does this person even believe that? Or are they only saying these things because there are views, clicks, and even financial rewards for them saying it? This person, he's ignoring such overt signs of deceit that I have to question, is he doing this because he knows he's going to get massive views and support from a particular segment of the audience that is going to make him feel good and feed his ego? I think that's a shame. I think the family deserves better than that, which is why I have yet to say his name in a video.
Well, let's talk about that, because he also ignores a lot of history and a lot of present. And when he says, well, race is not involved in this, and when people say that, well, maybe race isn't maybe it may not turn out to be what happened, right, in this particular situation. But when people look at that picture, it's obvious that race is involved. When they saw the picture of him with all the white kids and whatever, fine. People are drawing conclusions. But that speaks to race, especially online. People are like, wait a minute, what's going on here? That shows you, that is indicative of the history of this country, and that people are aware of that they have suspicions. And I don't think that is a bad thing to have. I don't think you should draw conclusions about these folks or their guilt or what have you. But the evidence is there, and I understand why people are questioning it. And that's race.
I think it's an absolute shame. Like, you can't remove context from the circumstances. And part of the context, the historical context, is this happened in Mississippi. In that interview he did with the second boy, they're actually saying, like, the history doesn't matter here because we've grown and changed. That you cannot remove context from circumstance. And the history of Mississippi tells us that Black people in the Black community cannot trust the justice system. So you cannot, in any way, shape, or form, disavow a Black person who doesn't have confidence in the justice system. And anyone who knows anything about Mississippi. So I'll tell you a really quick thing.
Thank you.
I went to a place called Glendora, Mississippi. I was doing a road trip, and I wanted to stop by Money, Mississippi, and Glendora, Mississippi. And people aware of history, Money, Mississippi is where the grocery store that Emmett Till encountered Carol Bryant, and that's where that incident happened that led to his ultimate death, which was in Glendora, Mississippi. So I was there, and I wanted to find the landing, the shore where they found Emmett Till's body. And I was going around. I had no idea where it was. There's no signs to find or anything like that. So I saw like random people, usually Black people, and I said, hey, can you help me find this? And they wouldn't talk about it. One person said, we're not comfortable talking about this. I said, how come? And this person looked me right in my eyes and said, because the grandchildren of the people who did that are still here. That was 70 years after the lynching of Emmett Till. So don't tell me that history doesn't matter. Now, to your point, Don, which I think you just excellently made, that doesn't mean that these boys are specifically guilty, because the history of that area has a very difficult racial context. But it does mean you cannot remove context from circumstance. And this interviewer is actively trying to remove history from circumstance. And what he's doing, I'm going to use a clinical term, he's gaslighting the Black community. Because what he's saying essentially is, you Black people are crazy for thinking this. But we think this because the historical context of that area has made us think this. And it's weird that you're trying to like divorce the two, the circumstance from the situation that's happened, from the context. And that is actively gaslighting. You're making someone who's making a logical conclusion feel crazy for that logical conclusion. That's wrong.
Thank you. I know that you have patience, and I know that you have to do stuff. I'm so happy that you came on, and I hope that you would come back, because I've been watching your videos, and it's helping me even to be able to report the story. And oftentimes it's frustrating, and you add clarity to this, and I think it's amazing. And I want everyone to go and follow you. It's on Instagram. I follow you on Instagram. I'm sure you're on other platforms, but it's Elliot Speaks. Let me put my glasses on so I can read this, because old people have bad eyes.
I'm one of them
old
too.
People be having bad eyes. Elliot Speaks. It's Elliot Connie, he, him, and we'll get his followers up. But it is amazing. It's amazing what you do. This isn't my page because mine would say follow, already follow.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
And I'm
Let's see what they're talking about. Shout out. Shout out to LaShawn. What's up, LaShawn?
He's the 18-year-old whose death during a 4th of July boat trip to a remote Nolan Wells. He's the 18-year-old whose death during a 4th of July boat trip to a remote Mississippi island is igniting nationwide debate. Jennifer, I want to take a moment to hear what Stephen A. Smith said about this case on Cuomo just a few days ago.
Listen, you're a dad. I'm a dad. We send our children out. And first of all, regardless of what ethnicity, regardless of what color we're talking about here, we send our children out, and you're the only one that doesn't come home alive. I'll be damned if the Chris Cuomo that I know doesn't want answers and doesn't expect answers. You know me, and I'm going to push for answers. So for no one to have answers as to what happens is when the suspicion elevates exponentially.
Seeing the video of Nolan is just so heartbreaking. He seems like such a happy kid. Now, the Daily Mail has identified a 19-year-old young woman who Nolan was last seen speaking to. Now, his friend said he chose to stay behind on Horn Island with that woman. But the woman's sister is claiming that's not true. He was ready to get back on the boat that he came on. Are all these differing accounts and a lack of understanding concerning to you?
Well, I think two things can be true at once. It makes sense that he went off to see about a girl, as they say, and that they had conversation and that he decided to go back and be with friends. So I think it's more of a timing issue rather than something that is untrue on either end. I think both can be true at the same time.
Nolan's death is going to the Mississippi grand jury. The DA said something interesting, that the evidence will not be public until the grand jury reviews it first. The DA says this is to protect the integrity of the investigation and that the grand jury will ultimately decide if someone will be charged. Jennifer, do you believe someone could be charged in his death? Is this just an accident gone terribly wrong?
Well, with what we know, in other words, review of all the surveillance information we have, with actually getting to hear from one of the witnesses, one of his best friends that was there throughout the situation, listening to the calls that were made, the Coast Guard contact, as well as the riptide situation in that area. When you add it all together, what we see publicly seems to be an accident. Having said that, of course, there's going to be information. 60 witnesses interviewed. I doubt if this, from what we know, will come back with the truth.
All right. Hopefully the families, both families, get some answers. Jennifer Coffindaffer, thank you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe.
According to News Channel 8, hold on, guys. Mystery Girl in Nolan Wells case reportedly identified. This came out July 27th, 10:40 a.m. According to News Nation, new details are emerging about the final hours before Nolan Wells disappeared, as conflicting accounts from people who were on remote Mississippi Island continue to raise questions about what happened. According to the Daily Mail, the woman Wells was reportedly speaking with before he disappeared has been identified as 19-year-old Katie McCormick. I think that was already. Anyway, Wells was last seen on Horn Island on July 4 after his friend said he chose to stay behind on the island, where they returned to the mainland after the boat developed issues. His body was found 2 days later. Ashley Cole previously said that her son Warren spoke to Wells around 3 p.m. on July 4th when Wells indicated he would get a boat back home with another group of friends. Katie had a conversation and assumed that Nolan was getting ready to get on the boat he came out on. Gracie McCormick told the Daily Mail Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him. According to Gracie McCormick, Katie was on the island with a different group of friends and later left with her brother and his fiance. So her brother should be questioned as well. She said the family has fully cooperated with investigators and Wells' family. Okay, so maybe he was. Katie McCormick has not spoken publicly since the case. The differing accounts have become a focal point for Wells' family and their attorney, Benjamin Crump. Attorney points to contradictory witness statements as investigation continues. She says he went to get on the boat. They're saying he didn't get on the boat. Crump said somebody must not be telling the truth. As far as I know, that's all of the updated news for now. We will stay on the lookout. We will definitely stay on the lookout. Where are we going?
Question scenario, and there's more to it. You can look at the full video. I think we're gonna put that out a little bit later today, and you guys can see the full context of that. But you know, I was there with those kids, man, and I tried to give an impartial interview. You know, I could see how somebody could say it's slightly biased because I've seen all the evidence. I was trying to give it from a perspective as if I didn't see the evidence. Man, I'm listening to these dudes like they're literally tears in their eyes talking about Nolan. I mean, we were talking about Nolan the whole time I was there when I was with them. Them going out to the boat and
where was the tears in the eyes? We didn't see none of that in the interview.
And remember, well, you weren't with us, but you know, Nick and everybody was with us, and they played some of his favorite songs. Dude, that made me emotional, to be honest. They're like, man, this was Nolan's favorite song, and they played it while we were going out to the Horn Island. And
what was the song?
Dude, so with seeing all that, and trying to interview these kids and trying to give them a fair sense to say what they got to say to the public, although I've already seen everything, was kind of hard. I mean, the only way to make the interview a little more impartial is that if I didn't know or nothing, I didn't verify nothing, I just want to talk to them, which nobody does that,
that'd
dude.
be a bad interview.
You can't not verify anything and then interview people, because what if they just flat out lied to you on your interview?
Yeah, you have to vet.
You got a whole bunch of fake information out there, and you like, I didn't know. No,
well, and then you're guilty of doing what everybody else is guilty of.
So these kids can come on there and go, we didn't do nothing. This, and that, and I didn't do no research. I didn't look at any data, and then they could be just flat out lying. So therefore, I feel a lot more confident that I'm like, I've seen everything that they said. We've already talked about this and everything. But I want the world to hear what they already didn't say.
Well, so much so that I read a 70-page document that's like a secret document, and I went through everything with a fine-tooth comb, and we're not using any of that information. None of that has been talked about today or anything publicly.
That was pretty legit.
But there's so much information that we have that we just can't. We can't vet it. So
and then also, you know, you got. This is not simple, right? Mm-hmm. When somebody's being accused of murdering somebody, there's some sensitivity to certain things that get exposed to the public because people lie.
Sure.
This was a big risk for Warren to come out and be bold and courageous enough to tell the truth. This was a big risk for me.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. It's journalism.
And it's the truth.
But it was a crazy risk for me to come out and just speak to these kids, man. You know, which is crazy. Let me give you an example real quick, because I got about 5 minutes before we have to get on this other thing. But let me just play y'all the backlash in part that I've gotten. And all I did was that they reached out to me. I think that's fair to acknowledge. They reached out to me and said, hey, we don't feel comfortable talking to anybody else because everybody fake and we know it. And they'll put your stuff out there and lie on you and edit it and all that stuff. They said, you know, the boys would really like to tell their story to you because they trust that you're fair.
Yes, they've watched you. Warren even said, I've been watching you for a long time. I trust you.
Yeah, because I'm fair.
Yes.
I didn't say that nobody didn't. I'm just saying that they didn't have no evidence of anybody doing anything. There's no evidence of racism. Yep. So anyway, I said, you know what? I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna see what they gotta say. You know, because nobody's heard what they had to say. So let me see if these boys are lying and see if these boys telling the truth, see if they got any evidence. Let me go out there and be legitimate in my judgment. And that's exactly what we did. And I said, look, at the end of the day, we heard what Benjamin Crump and them are saying. We saw the fake information that they put out there with no verification. And I said, let me see what this side has to say. And then I said, well, my gosh, the world needs to hear their side.
Okay, if you were to go, well, of course, we can't watch everything in its entirety. And also, we're not stealing content. So I'm not going to watch the entire of somebody else's and then be like, oh, no. So there was a point in this where he said that they just went out there to do the interview, they just got a house and went out there, didn't have any interviews secured. But now you're saying that you were contacted by the boys and they felt comfortable talking to you. Is this two lies? If I'm not mistaken, if Nigga, these two lies are in the same fucking video, if I'm not mistaken. If I wasn't on here with you guys, I would be skimming through trying to find that part, and just to pinpoint where he said, we went out there, we rented a house, we didn't have no interviews secured, but now you're saying they reached out to you and said, we trust you. The boy, is fair to say they reached out to me. They want to talk to me. Come on, bro. Does that have anything to do with what happened to Nolan? No. But this nigga cap.
And you got to think, I want people to know this. They were terrified to even talk. It was no guarantee that they were going to even interview or anything.
We flew out there, rented a house.
Yes.
Oh, this the
without
part.
having an interview.
I told you I skimmed through it. See?
You're secured.
There's no interview secured because
Right.
they, you got their parents were afraid.
Bro, you
Secure
just said they
interview or
felt
not.
like they wanted
to their
hold on.
side. And you got to think. And then I said, well, my gosh, very in my judgment, any evidence. Let me go out there and I'm not about to do anything. There's no evidence of race.
I weren't even said, I've been watching you for a long
edited and all that stuff. They said, the boys would really like to tell their story to you. 'Cause
So how did you not have an interview secure? Anyway, let's go.
Let me go out there and be legitimate in my judgment. And that's exactly what we did.
I didn't know it was in the same line, y'all. Like this is a lot of videos that I compile, and I go through a lot of stuff, and I forget. I thought it was farther up in the beginning. It was right here. My fault.
And I said, look, at the end of the day, we heard what Benjamin Crump and them are saying. We saw the fake information that they put out there with no verification. And I said, let me see what this side. There was no guarantee that they were going to even interview or anything.
We flew out there, rented a house.
Yes.
Without having an interview secured.
There's no interview secured because they, you got their parents were afraid. Yeah. Lawyers are telling them, and I'm not shocked. They're like, they don't want them to get out and say something, and then people use their words out of context.
Yep.
And so you got the lawyers and everybody's, kind of like, we don't know. We want you to know the truth, but we don't want our boys to be out there. And then people clip their stuff up and then they try to make them into monsters.
Yeah.
And so, we had a conversation about it. I encouraged them like, look, bro, they going to lie on you no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So if you feel confident enough, I'll be very fair with the interview. You guys be able to see everything that we record. I'm not going to record something and chop it up and put it out. No, family and everybody be able to see exactly what we did. Raw footage, boom, put it out there. You said it, y'all be able to see it. Before we put it out, You'll be able to see it. And that's exactly what we did. We did the interview. We talked to the other boys, but they didn't want to go on camera, which for obvious reasons, because of stuff like this. Let's put it out there of the kind of hate I'm getting for just interviewing. Roll the clip.
Here's my message to some of you ignorant, melanated people that's in my comment section and in my messenger, talking about I hate my people, I hate my race, and you want me to take up for people that's wrong just because they black.
If Harriet Tubman was alive today, she would blow brain matter would be all over.
That's him dog whistling or trying to allude to the fact that he wants me dead. He thinks somebody should kill me. Them sacrifice for us to have freedoms and for us to get along with each other. I expressed that, and he think I should be killed. Harriet Tubman would have killed me for being
dollars since 2017.
I made
I don't know if that's too violent. Hold on, YouTube. You can't talk like that, brother. This man got a tongue ring, man. He ain't gonna do nothing.
Because I interviewed one kid, two kids.
The tap dancing is off the charts. Oh my goodness. So when it comes to Nolan Wells, I've already told you guys that I don't care. I haven't really been following the story ever since, the parents came out talking about, oh, we need to have, peace. Okay, please don't cause any harm. We have to have a celebration, for his funeral and to celebrate his life and yada, 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 yada. I don't deal with that, okay? Especially if we're suspecting foul play, which is clearly apparent, right? It doesn't take anyone with an IQ above room temperature to, at bare minimum, the narrative that has been given to everyone doesn't seem on the up and up. Doesn't seem accurate, right? We know that nobody leaves anywhere, goes anywhere without their phone, much less an 18-year-old kid. That's not what's going on. I don't care if there's
let's keep it honest. Let's be 100%. We don't go to the bathroom without our phones. You motherfuckers will not sit on the toilet. You will not sit on the commode. You will not sit on that porcelain pony without your telephone. Don't lie.
there's a girl, a boy, a dog, an alien, you're not leaving without your phone. And then the time it took for them to give them the phone and then alleged, messages or pictures that were erased, it's not adding up. But that's besides the point. Like I said, if y'all want peace, y'all get your peace. If y'all don't, want to leave it to the sheriff's department and all that, by all means, you in Mississippi. Okay, I've been to Mississippi, never go back. If anything were to happen to me or mine, I'm going to be the first one in front of a mic and tell y'all to raise hell. I'm not going to be speaking about any peace. I'm not going to speak about any unity. I'm not going to be speaking about any type of, love and law and order. I'm not going to do any of that. None of that. I'm just going to let you know. I'm going to talk about a pound of flesh because that's what's going to be needed. Damn. That being said, I want people to understand that the biggest threat when it comes to this country, it's not racism, it's not white supremacy, it's not any of that. The biggest threat are people who lead you to believe that those things don't exist.
Why does it have to be about race?
That's the biggest threat. Okay, because everyone would like to be moving in a progressive position, right? We would like to be moving forward. But as long as there are those people who are saying, hey, there's not a problem here. What are you talking about? The doctor can't help you. He can't prescribe medicine if you don't even, go to the doctor to begin with. But when you go to the doctor, you say there's not a problem, even though you're bleeding out of your side, right? You got your whole intestines coming out. There's not a problem. I don't need surgery. Someone like that, you can't help them, bro. It just is what it is. And just to interrupt for a second, I want to let everyone know of Black Vote Watch, accountable, especially those that instead of exit Black Vote Watch, to protect. I say this when it comes to people like Brandon Tantrum, okay? Black America. I say that to say this when it comes to people like Brandon Tantrum, okay? When you have low IQ Black people, they are just ripe for the picking when it comes to the lineage of evil. They look at them first because they know that A, they're low IQ, so they're easy to manipulate, right? In addition to that, they don't have many options because they're low IQ, right? So it makes it easy to throw money at them and to...
I'm not talking about carrying the phone in the water, moron. I'm talking about him leaving the phone on a boat and allowing the boat to leave with his phone on it, moron.
Give them their marching orders.
And I can attest to that as a Christian who went to Israel. I spent 2 weeks there with the church, and we had an incredible time. We had only one incident where a small child spit on one of the pastors, and immediately after there was an adult that came by and said, that's not a representation of who we are. We love you guys. You guys are always welcome here. And I have to say, no adults gave us any grief. We had no issues whatsoever in our experience there. It was actually an amazing experience.
I miss you like a hog miss flop, like a baby, miss mammy titty.
When it comes to Nolan Wells, I have not seen anyone do this type of tap dancing for a while now. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought it was a lost art, all right? The art of tap dancing. And this boy, because this is a boy's mentality, which is what Tatum has. This boy comes out of nowhere, does a whole report on the Nolan Wells story, but he's doing a report, trying his best, doing his hardest to run obstacle on behalf of the white boy. And I'm not making it racial, I'm just making an observation. That's what makes these Sambo soldiers so lethal, so dangerous, because who's the person who's trying to defend Nolan Wells? Who's the person that has the same resources, has the same availability, has the same set up the network to do justice on behalf of Nolan Wells? Who is that person? You tell me who. No one. I haven't seen anyone. He's going out to the beach, inviting his, quote, best friend, sitting down with this kid. Well, tell us what happened. I know they're trying to make it racial. What do you think? You think there's any racial component? Yeah, no. I don't know why people are making this racial. Yeah.
We see Benjamin Crump coming to town, made it about race. Right. What's your feeling about that? Do you think that any of this has anything to do with race, or because obviously something happened to Nolan. It appears that you guys may not have been involved at all. When I say may not, it's no evidence that you were involved at all. You guys had left. What? But do you think that there's a racial component to any of this?
Of course not. I think if Nolan ever felt the most little bit uncomfortable around us, which we never gave him a reason to, but if he did, he wouldn't hang out around us.
In my opinion.
I saw someone say in the chat, I can scroll up when I read it later. I'll say exactly who it was and give them their credit. But that is the reason we know about Stacey Turner, the medical examiner, the racial, the obvious, right? The obvious. The race factor. Stacey Turner, the chief medical examiner in Mississippi, needs to be thoroughly investigated. Every case she's ruled as accidental, undetermined, or someone taking their own life involving black people should be re-examined immediately. Take Trey Reed, found hanging on the Delta State University campus. She ruled it he took his own life, but an independent investigation later determined it was a homicide after discovering blunt force trauma and bruising all over his body. Nolan Wells was ruled a drowning almost immediately after his body arrived. His family has now demanded an independent investigation. Damian Cameron's death was ruled undetermined after a deadly confrontation with law enforcement left him with internal neck bleeding. And Shannon Wilson was embalmed without the family's permission, destroying critical evidence that could have shown she was murdered. This is exactly what institutional racism looks like. When I post about it, this is the kind of things I'm talking about. They call us racist for exposing their racism. The views and thoughts represented in this post does not necessarily represent the views and thoughts of the Rumonati Network. I'm just bringing the information. It was spoken upon in the chat, and I think this has to also be spoken upon that this lady is in question. The medical examiner, the chief medical examiner for the state of Mississippi, is in question.
If we don't get justice for Nolan Wells, if we come to find out mum's a word, we already know the sheriff is, thumb up his butt, especially Mississippi. We come to find out, no, person drowned. It is what it is. Mum's a word. That's in the story. I would put the death of this kid, the lack of justice for whatever happened. All right. The fact that we can't come to the truth. Forget whether or not he was unalive. Forget whether or not he drowned, whatever it is. The fact that we can't come to the truth, I would put that on Brandon Tantrum. That's what I would do. Damn. No one finds it peculiar that his best friend throughout this entire interview doesn't shed a tear, shows no emotion whatsoever. I looked. No emotion. He's talking about it like he's talking about the game or something. Yeah, like it's just a matter of like, yeah, they didn't have potato chips at the store. That's how he's talking about his kid who allegedly drowned.
We just watched. What's his name? Elliot Connie? Is it Connie? I want to get his name correct. We just watched Elliot discuss this as well, and he is. I want his name correct. Elliot Connie. Okay, that's his name. Elliot Connie. Master's degree in psychotherapy. He just said the same thing.
Or who he doesn't even know what happened, but he's no longer here. This is his quote unquote best friend. And he's just talking, no emotion, just completely, just flaccid.
And people say that you guys just left Nolan behind. I've seen reports of people saying that you just left him. I see reports of people saying that you asked him to get on the boat. You told him to get on the boat, he didn't. What's the truth in that?
Well, Wyatt was having boat issues and the bilge wouldn't pump. So the bilge is basically a pump that releases water from your boat when water comes in. So I opened the back hatch and there's water up to the batteries. And that is obviously not good. There's water almost coming over the transom, which is where your motors sit and which is by the stern, like in the back part of the boat.
What the hell did you just say?
So obviously we were in an emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat.
Damn.
So obviously we were in an emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat. It's not like we didn't ask Nolan or we just left Nolan. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with. And the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah. I'm glad you cleared that up because
that doesn't seem a bit odd. That doesn't seem a bit off to you. So
nothing.
I really am at a loss of words, genuinely, at a loss of words, because this is what the lineage of evil does. They funnel money to these low IQ blacks who they just manipulate and use to attack who? Black people. You look at his channel. What is it all about? Black people. Black people wrong this. Black people that. Black people black. Think about this. That's why I'm saying when you speak to someone who's not black, when you speak to a white person or an Asian person who absolutely agrees with you, yeah, I think it's horrible what's going on. Or yeah, I agree when it comes to reparations. Or yeah, I agree when it comes to qualified immunity or police brutality. Or yeah, that is an outlier. That is it's honestly a conundrum. Because this is what this country, since its inception, has always pushed forward. Meritorious manumission. They used to reward the slaves for snitching. That's what they did. Now, what are they doing? They're rewarding black people. Inception has always pushed forward. Meritorious manumission. They used to reward the slaves for snitching. That's what they
Meritorious manumission. Hey, the Discord is about to open up. If anybody wants to come up, if anybody has any comments, if anybody wants to speak on what they have seen thus far, give their opinions. As long as it's respectfully, you will have 30 seconds to a minute to speak your piece if you choose to come up. Maybe a little longer. As long as it's respectful. All disrespect, you'll be instantly booted. No room for that. But the Discord will be open in just a few minutes. Guys, go to the main page of this YouTube channel, and right above the subscribe button, all you have to do is click the Discord link. Make sure you have it downloaded already. Sign up. And within the Discord, you're going to see an area that says live. I said an area. Sorry, guys. I was receiving a phone call. A text message. Join the Discord. Go to live stream voice channel if you want to chime in. I'm about to open the Discord up in just a few minutes, guys. All right.
They did. Now, what are they doing? They're rewarding black people to attack black people. That's what they're doing. They're rewarding black people to try and appease the racist white audience. That's sickening. What's even more sickening is that we have people who are willing to take that check. Damn. But there are people like Tantrum who have nothing to lose, bro. They got nothing to lose. Going from law enforcement to what? Sitting on your butt, which clearly he seems to have gained a few pounds.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Right? Talking to white kids saying that there is no racism. There's nothing suspicious here. I just want to give this kid the benefit of the doubt. I want to give him a chance to tell his story. What about Nolan Wells' story? Huh? What about that? I haven't seen, like I said, this amount of tap dancing in a minute. Anyways, guys, that's the video.
Shout out to the amazing Lucas. Shout out to him. Go subscribe. I'm about to open the Discord up. Shout out to Chronicle Speaks. Shout out to Officer Tatum as well. I'm using his content. I'm not gonna, I don't agree. But nonetheless, shout out to him for the content.
Audio that I previously played. Once again, this recording is publicly available online. Although the regular whole music is playing, you can still hear what appears.
I slowed this video down so we can hear it a tad bit better, but
to be added to the recording. Now, meaning the dispatcher's voice plays through one channel.
The screen might blank out to white or a different color. That's because I'm about to switch over to the Discord, but the video will come back, guys. But there's nothing to see here, only to listen to. We're about to play once again the isolated audio that reveals who may have hurt Nolan.
Channel, while the young men on the boat can be heard through the other channel. I simply muted the dispatcher's channel, allowing us to focus more clearly on the background conversation. This audio works best if you use headphones.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Oh, shut the fuck up! What'd you say? Hey. It's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down. I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that. I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't have the tag on here. It got ripped off. Reach me at two. Yeah, yeah, everybody talks to it. What? No, we do not need that. Let me go look.
No, ain't gonna look.
North. All right, are you ready? North 30 degrees. By
We going to the Discord after this, y'all.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right, well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either Jerry Atkinson. I think it's Jerry Atkinson. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like, guaranteed. I don't have to tag on
Unless you have a membership number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we'll talk about it down below.
Okay.
Detail assistance, Vicky.
Come on, man. All right, we about to go to the Discord. Hold on, he said something about Wyatt.
States Coast Guard.
No, we do not need that.
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
All right, y'all, we about to get over to the Discord. Mills, you live. What's up?
Hey.
What's going on? What's going on? Got any commentary about the content thus far? What's on your mind?
Yes, I believe they took Nolan body to Warren's grandparents' house. That's where they stashed his body at, and that's where.
Hold on. If you eating, you got to stop eating before you come in here trying to talk now.
I'm sorry. I believe they took his body to his grandparents' house, and I believe that's where they stashed Nolan's body. I believe that it was an accidental death. Nolan probably took some drugs or something that he was not used to. It sounds like Warren might do a little bit of cocaine from all that sniffling and, that he was doing. And I feel that Warren, they can't they can't explain what happened to him. And I believe that the grand jury is going to indict him. Indict. Who they gonna indict? I don't know. I don't know at all. But somebody need to be indicted for this case. Cause it's very suspicious. And the more they talk, I told y'all that the more they talk, the more it's gonna bite them in the butt. Why do we hear a Coast Guard phone call with the tow company? I mean, talking to the tow man, the boat tow, and he like Jerry, what's his granddaddy name? You don't know. Jerry canceled the tow, which means somebody else that was on the boat called Warren's granddad, which means that had to have been Warren's brother, because you know Warren said his brother was about to get in the fight, then they got on the boat.
Right. I can't find that audio of the granddad, but keep going though.
I sent it in. I sent it in the group. But I just feel like, yeah, y'all being messy. Y'all need to tell the truth. Warren does not actually answer any questions. Now, I can say Tristan, he answered more questions about Nolan, but Warren was not able or capable of answering questions about Nolan. He wasn't capable of answering questions. And I know the commenters are running rampant right now, so if somebody else want to come up and give their own opinion, you can come up.
All right, excuse me. All right, Mills, we sure appreciate you. Looking for this audio for the grandfather right now. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Super duper salute to you. Always interacting and not scared to put herself out there like a lot of people that are very critical. You know, a lot of people may be out there, oh, you do it. You know, you do it. Come give your opinion. Come do a better job. But no, shout out to Mills though. Ain't no disrespect to nobody, but I'm just saying, y'all take it easy on people that's a little braver than y'all. People that's willing to step up and do things that y'all might not be willing to do. You know what I'm saying? Have some kind of class and respect and some grace. You know?
But yeah,
everybody's different. But we're gonna go ahead and oh shit, I didn't know you were still here. What's up, Mel? Any last thoughts? My bad.
I just think that it might have been accidental. I don't think he drowned at all. I don't, and that's why the autopsy from the states, ME, was sealed.
So you think
because why seal it if it was what everybody expects? He drowned. Why seal it?
I don't know.
And I think that
I don't know, but
the internet is pushing. It may be pushing the narrative. It may be, but the narrative is getting people to do what their job and do what they're supposed to do. And I feel that the young men are trying to blame it on Katie. And I can't wait to hear what Katie has to say. I can't. But that's all I have to say. Sorry for eating when I came up.
You good? We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Super duper salute to Mels. Anybody else want to come up? If not, we're gonna watch the last little bit of this. We're gonna let the last little bit of this interview with Tatum and Tristan Shepard play. And we're gonna call it one, y'all.
Interviewing with me. right? You know, we came out here to Mississippi. We just want to give the boys a voice, give you guys a voice. And out of, I'd say, all the other outlets that you could have spoken to, why do you feel that you wanted to talk to me tonight?
Honestly, I'm a big fan. I know when I look at news articles, big news articles,
They both
obviously,
big fans.
and then I know you talk on them, I make sure I go I watch the full thread of videos. I think our morals align alike, and when we spoke off camera, like, it didn't seem like you were out here like another news reporter that just wanted the next big story. Like you just said, it's like you genuinely wanted us to have a platform to be able to speak and to be able to tell the truth, and that's what I like. And I know I don't know, talking to Warren and knowing Miss Katie and being close to them and them trusting you was like, okay, I can sit down, I can have this conversation, and we can go through it, and we can have the interview on camera, and people can see me, really, I guess you could say, and talk about it and whatnot.
I appreciate that. I really do. And my last question, you know, with all this stuff going on, and you knew Nolan very well, what do you think how Nolan would feel about how this all has transpired with Benjamin Crump, with, you know, the statements from his mom, with the accusations against you and his other friends? You know, how would you think he would address this or feel about this?
Well, I know people like to use the term, it would turn over in his grave. If Nolan could dig himself out of his grave right now, he would. No doubt. Nolan would be livid is an understatement. Nolan would never want anything pursued this way at all. I think he would be really upset with his parents about how they went. Nolan would be livid is an understatement. Nolan would never want anything pursued this way.
Pursued this way? What do you mean pursued this way? You got some nerve. In my opinion, this guy has some nerve to be trying to call out and go against the parents. To me, these are the sentiments of what's being said by the older people at home. You're speaking for what the parents are saying, what the grandparents and what the town is saying. I don't think I personally don't feel like these are just his original thoughts. This is what he's overheard being said, and things that have been said to him. Why does it seem like a personal vendetta against the parents? What is the anger towards the parents who lost their son and is just looking for answers when it looks suspicious? Come on, my man.
At all. I think he would be really upset with his parents about how they went about the situation. I think he genuinely would. I don't think he wouldn't support it. I know that for 110%. I know he wouldn't support any of it.
Hold on, y'all. We have someone in the Discord. Feel free to voice your opinion as long as you're respectful. This is someone new, Mr. Smith. Are you ready to present your opinions? Mr. Smith, are you ready to present your opinions?
Oh, yes, sir.
Hi,
yes, sir.
how you doing, Mr. Smith? Go ahead, feel free. You got any you got some comments on the content?
Well, a lot more questions than I do comments. It's more, I'm trying to understand that recording in the sense that it sounds like, from what I heard, that something had happened. I don't know if they were all, which it doesn't sound to me like they were all, because then they would all be messed up. I'm thinking someone's either spiked Nolan's drink, or I don't know. Just the way it sounded like, you know, hearing that girl screaming in the background. It sounded to me like somebody did something nefarious. I can't say who specifically, but it sounds like one of the individuals, and this is all hearsay, but maybe I don't know. To me, there's a lot of questions around it.
I agree.
Did someone drug him? Did they?
Or did he take something and maybe Did he drug him, or was drugs involved and he took something himself and it turned out bad and they're trying to cover it up? You know what I mean? There's other things that could be said as well. I'm listening though. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine. I just, from that recording, when he says they don't need the Coast Guard, they're calling because the boat, quote unquote, is sinking. Where's the crowds? Like, what's, I'm just trying to figure out, with the crowds being all around, you hear this girl screaming that, oh, he's done. Was he on the boat at that point? Where people where the public, like, rest of the people around didn't see him? What led, like,
right.
That's the part. I'm trying to figure all that out, because it just, there's a lot of things that aren't necessarily adding up, and
yeah, there's a lot of questions to be asked. Excuse me. I can't help but to think that I can't help but to feel suspicion around his death, just based on the evidence that's presented to the public so far. I don't know how much of this is submitted legally. I don't know how much of this is legal evidence, but it looks like foul play from the outside looking in, and that's all I can say.
It does.
I don't. Once again, I said this the other day. I don't want, at the end of the day, I don't want the man to have had been murdered, right? I don't want his last memory or something like that to have, like, been him looking up into somebody he thought was his friend's eyes and seeing them swinging something at him or choking him or something. That's not what I want. I'm not hoping. So when people say, oh, you want these kids to be guilty, no, I want answers, because it sounds and looks and everybody's just acted a tad suspicious. That's it.
Yeah, something's going on that may or may not have been illegal, that's being put to the side so that we can keep people's, I guess, reputations at bay. That's what it sounds like, and that's a lot of, like you're saying, people being real careful, and they don't want. I understand, lawyers and all that saying they don't want people going on talking. And don't get me wrong, anybody's words can be used out of context, but there are things outside of any interview that's been done previously, like that recording. Like, there's questions about that recording, regardless of if any of them ever did an interview. There's a lot going on in that. And there are people that are professionals at this that could, I imagine, crop out and get that audio enhanced, but
right.
It's
definitely it's odd, man. I'll go ahead and give you the last thought. I'm sorry, Mr. Smith. Go ahead.
Just on my closing on that, I guess I'd just say that there's a lot of questions to be answered, and the main thing is it doesn't appear from all the evidence, or including that audio, which is very big, he didn't just decide to stay on the island and then go randomly drown somewhere.
Right.
He didn't. What did he do? He just sat on the island until everybody else left and decided he was just going to walk out into the water? All those people around you telling me somebody wouldn't have. Don't get me wrong, people drown quickly, but at the same point,
right.
The only way, 2 days later, you're telling me no one on the island around saw this man go under the water, if that was supposedly what to have happened, And that's the same thing with the drugs. It makes me wonder, you have these people screaming. There weren't people around to hear this young lady. Like, where's the rest of the people that were on the island when it comes to this? I would like to, people that were around that weren't a part of the group, I'd like to hear from them.
Yeah, but according to
maybe
Tristan,
they saw something.
According
heard something.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, according to Tristan Shepard, that community sticks together and they have each other's back.
Well, does that include Nolan Wells' family?
Obviously not, because according to Tristan Shepard, Nolan Wells' family came to stir up trouble in a close-knit community.
But they're a part of the community. if it was my mama, your mama, anybody else's mama, they want answers too.
That's my only thing. And do I personally care for Ben Crump? That's here nor there. I don't like him in all situations, but if I'm a person who's lost and never dealt with this before, and the only way I know to get any kind of answers or any kind of riling people up to get something close to an answer is to go get this guy, then that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to whatever measures to get the answers for the death of my loved one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're getting a lot of criticism based on the fact that they went and got Ben Crump. People are acting like this is their, they have a dead child every year and they should know how to deal with this. Motherfucker, this is I've never experienced this before. I don't know what to do, and this guy seems to get something going. Whether he gets something going, I need something. I'm lost. I'm distraught. I'm grieving.
And
I give you the last word, Mr. Smith.
Well, you brought a lot of things to my knowledge that I didn't like. I'd never heard that recording before today, and that's a big thing. I feel like I don't know how well they handle this stuff, but there are people, I'm sure, with the FBI, CIA, whoever, that can go through phone records and things of that nature. I'm sure they could pull up some stuff around that time from other people that were around. Just to be able to hear that. I would like to hear that audio, like right before that audio, because it's very clear that they're talking, like you hear her say Nolan's name. You hear specifically, like, I know it's captioned audio, but you hear very clearly some of those words. And if he died before they ever left that island, but he was found 2 days later, does that mean, did they, hear me out. Here's a crazy theory. They were, whether somebody drugged him or not, I can't say, but say he did OD. He was overdosing. And they're on the island and they put him on the boat. So they hide him away so that people don't see him and realize that he's dying.
That Nels
they on the way back with the boat, they just drop him in the water.
That Nels just said something similar to that about them hiding him, taking his body to the grandfather's house, and then bringing him back later. She basically said the same thing, man.
I mean,
she basically said the same thing. Mr. Smith, I thank you very much for coming up, being interactive, being brave enough to put your thoughts out there, man, because the internet can be a very foul place, a very judging and vile place sometimes, man. And just because you have your own thought or an opposing thought, they will attack you, man. I appreciate your bravery. Males, I appreciate your bravery as well. Hey man, stay, you're welcome. The Discord is open to you. You're always welcome. Once you're in, you're always welcome to come through, kick it. It's open 24 hours a day. So make your way around, Mr. Smith. Feel free to post in whatever section you see.
Okay, well, thank you.
When we have discussions, whether we're on live stream or not, we have open rooms that you're always welcome to come in and join the conversation. So we appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, and thank you again for letting me chat with you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, guys, I think the Discord is, I think we're going to shut the Discord down for now and go ahead and wrap this up. I thank everybody who came up, who was brave enough to face the internet, even while being faceless, because we all are humans, man. And even if people can type things to a ghost account, and that could upset you or throw your day off or something like that. So I always have to show my appreciation to the people that come up and are brave and willing to put themselves out there. Mills is one of the main ones that will always come up and give her opinion, no matter what y'all try to throw at her. You know, she has tenacity, continues to keep pushing, keep making sure she gives her thoughts, keep supporting the channel. So make sure y'all show some love and give a salute to Mills. Mr. Smith as well, but give a salute to Mills for always being a part of the proceedings in all manners, man. Super duper salute to you. Super duper salute to all the mods. Mods. Can we give some love to the mods, man? The mods dealt with a lot today. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to the mods. I know it was a lot, and we didn't even do a subscribers only moment or a members only moment. It was straight open for the day. So I know the floodgates were open. Y'all dealt with a lot. Thank y'all to the mods, the most aggravating mods in the game, man. But the best mods. I thank y'all, man, for putting up with a lot of things that you probably wouldn't put up with based on my request. You know, we try to have a platform to where everybody can express themselves equally as long as it's respectfully, right? We don't have to agree. The same way I allowed Mills and Mr. Smith or anybody else who ever came up to speak, we can definitely disagree. You don't have to come up and speak and it's not a bird, it's not a flock. It's not a cult. You feel how you want to feel. Just as long as you can express yourself respectfully, you're welcome to come up and voice your opinion. That goes for everybody, man. But I thank y'all. Y'all are the most aggravating chat in the game, but the most appreciated chat in the world. I can't believe it. The likes been going crazy. Y'all so aggravating. Y'all get on my damn nerve. Why we got so many likes? Why I'm seeing so many numbers on these likes? Y'all get on my goddamn nerve, man. Y'all crazy. We done broke the glass. We done broke the foundation. And now we shaking the building. Let's go. Shout out to y'all. All these likes. How do we get 200 likes? Damn, man. Thank y'all for always rocking out, man, and being so aggravating. Y'all so aggravating, man. Gotta love the fam. Gotta love the fam, man. Thank y'all. Break the glass. Super duper salute to y'all, man. Going crazy. I appreciate y'all always. Let me show some love, man. I gotta show some love to the top 10 real quick. I gotta show some love to the top 10. I gotta read these chats. I got a lot of chats to read to catch up on. They call it fan funding. I call it the super support. We had a hold on. Did y'all hear that? We had a $1.99 super chat from Nurse Lady T. Like, share, subscribe, and we appreciate you. We had a $9.99 super chat from Mike from the Ville. I demand a recount if you racist bastards. You and your 2 brain cells can't see past color. That's why I made the comment. A super chat, it's yellow. Also hit the like button and show the host some support. Thank you. Super duper salute. And then we had Gregory Jacobs sent the high five for 100 Jews. SSO Gamer sent the Unk Alert for 440 Jews are hydrated. For 550 Jews, a gold coin for 10 Jews. Miss Ladybug sent the gold coin for 10 Jews. And the Real Jim sent a floating heart for 10 Jews, a thumbs up for 10 Jews, and a flower for 30 Jews. Let's go. Super duper salute to y'all. And thank y'all. Always. Now let me show some love to the chat, man. The most aggravating chat in the game. Most appreciated chat in the world. We got Gio Roman says, breaking the glass and the ceiling. Let's go. Big Rich says, let go. Court One says, them ain't Nolan's friends. Gio Roman says, thank to the subscribers. All the new subscribers, thank y'all. Everybody who returned, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Everybody who gave information to help this broadcast and the stream just go smooth, or to bring new information to the stream to help us get through this thing, not only smooth but also informative. Like, when we're bringing new information to people who may not be informed, we're not just sitting up here being run of the mill. Oh, look at this, look at that. No, we're giving opinions. I love this chat. This chat is very opinionated. I love this shit. It's not just me talking and giving my opinion. I'm having conversations back and forth with people in the chat. Man, thank y'all always. Hold on, let me show some love. Slim Jones says, thank everyone for coming. Slim John, who? Nurse Lady T, I see them emojis. Chat came and showed out with love and the Discord. Big up yourselves. Big up yourself, chat. Big up themselves. Big up y'all selves, man. Shout out to the chat. Y'all went crazy today. We got to show some love to that chat, man. Show some love to that chat. Show some love. Show some love. Most aggravating chat in the game. Most appreciated chat in the world, man. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all, man, for aggravating that algorithm today in a real way. In a real way. Y'all came through for real. Gio Roman says, come to chop it up. See how we chop it up and agree to disagree. Yeah, after this, we're going to be in the Discord in the chop it up section. You know what I'm talking about? That's the open section for all the new people. If you want to come in, we got members only sections as well. And when they get to cracking and when we get to watching events, don't wonder why you're not in. But all the free sections is there. Y'all can come in and join the conversations and all that. FBA Judah says WTRN, man. FBA Judah, shout out to you, bro. Super duper salute to you. Big Rich says no doubt, fam. Super duper salute, Big Rich, man. Shout out Shaniqua. Shout out to the brave ones. Facts. She said shout out to the brave ones. That is a fact. Y'all brave for coming up, and the internet can be a horrible place. We know that. We know that. Shirley Pop says W mods. Shout out to the mods, man. Gotta give it up for the mods all the time, man. And let me give it up for the ladies too. The ladies came through today. Give it up for the ladies. Let's go. Super duper salute to y'all. Where we at? Where we at? The real Jim, let's go. Big Rich says W males, W mods. Let's go. Males with the love. FBA Judah says, shout out to Mills. Gio Roman says, W Smith. Miss Ladybug, the GPS is out, but they need to show all boats and identify exactly whose boat it was. I agree with that. Shirley Pop says, great chat too. She's shouting out the chat. Big up themselves. I said it wrong, then I'm a fake ass Jamaican. Hey, new sub, by the way. Thank you for the new sub. Brains and Beauty says, congratulations, callers. Thank y'all to everybody who called in, who chimed in. Man, I love y'all. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. Nurse Lady T, I see you. Big Rich says the evidence is pointing to an accident happening and them just ditching him in fear instead of trying to help him out of right love for their homeboy. I agree, Big Rich. Everybody kind of feels the same way. Like they didn't necessarily... We're not ruling out murder, but they didn't take his life, but something happened and they tried to cover it up. That's kind of what everybody is leaning to. And I feel the same way. Of course, we won't know until the evidence is presented, hopefully properly, right? So we can actually get answers. But until then, we won't know. For me, I always call it, people say allegedly. Yes, this is alleged. This is all alleged. This is all speculative speech. Maybe I can coin that phrase. I'm going to put it on a shirt. I don't know if I can coin it or whatever. Speculative speech. That's all this is, man. This is speculative speech. I'm just speaking. I'm speculating based off of what I see. This is no hard evidence. I can't prove anything. I don't have any facts, but I can damn sure tell you how strongly I feel, just like y'all can. And I appreciate all y'all's opinions, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking out too. Miss Ladybug says GPS showed him going around and back out there. See what I'm saying? Chuck Diamond says it's the perfect story. Just blame it on the water. I think his best friends was jealous of him and alcohol added into it. I think they did something to him. Wow. Joshua Montgomery says y'all out here posting make believe with nothing to back it up. Facts. I mean, not facts. What I can say is, you are entitled to your opinion. I didn't mean to say facts. You are entitled to your opinion, sir. I think everything that we've showed thus far pretty much backs up the narrative that is posted out there now that there is some sort of foul play. I think the circumstantial evidence would support that. But I will say that we can't call anything a fact yet as far as convicting somebody, but it does seem like foul play. Thank you, Joshua Montgomery. I appreciate you. Gio Roman said this is what this channel is about. Shout out to everybody on the panel that came up. For real, bro. I love that. I love that. Thank y'all. FBA Judah says, did they ever say why they returned to the island? They supposedly returned to look for Nolan. There's a lot of things in question. There's a lot of things in question. Seth Love, shout out to you. He says, I couldn't understand that audio. Miss Ladybug says, I think they hit him too and dropped him back since they supposed the sinking boat kept him out. Right. Kept going out later throughout the day. FBA Judah says they don't. Miss Ladybug says if they cared for Nolan, they definitely wouldn't be disrespectful to his parents. That's a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. Why such vitriol towards the parents? Why are you have so much hate and so much anger towards the parent? Because she's trying to get answers. If you really love Nolan, then you would have an understanding of what his parents are going through and why, even though to you it may seem, oh, why are they doing that? Bro, look at the situation. And I'm sure you would want your parents to have that same type of intensity. Like if something was to happen to me, and it looks questionable, I would want my parents to be very thorough and intense and overzealous. Yes, keep your foot on the gas. Find out what happened to me. And if at the end of the day it's absolutely nothing and it turned out to be my fault, then I want you guys to be able to rest well knowing that. At least you have closure now that, okay, nobody took my son's life. My son's life wasn't taken. This was a mistake. My son, and there was no cover up. My son, people would want to know that. So I don't see the anger towards the parents as a so-called best friend. I'm not getting that. I'm not understanding that myself. Just me. Is that Evie survived? I agree. Brains and Beauty says, we knew as soon as we heard. We didn't need Ben to tell us nothing. We can feel it's wrong. Come on, bro. Inclinations and feelings don't hold up in court, but that don't mean that you might not be on to something, mother effer. Let's not act like detectives don't go off of feelings. Something just don't feel right. Something just don't feel right. They have to go and compile facts based off of their feelings. They have to compile facts in order to convict and prove that their feelings were correct. But let's not act like detectives don't also go based on a feeling. Big Rich says the tip line needs to go to someone. That tip line number needs to go to some. Porky Pig. That tip line number needs to go to someone else. There's a conflict of interest if that's true. And Slim Jones says somebody that was definitely speculating. Gio Roman says good point. Rumor. I don't know what I said at that time. FBA says Crump doesn't influence us to think a certain way at all. Facts. He don't speak for everybody at all. 713 Cool Cup says the tip line is to report tips on the case that goes directly to his mother, who is a judge in that county. Wow. Wow. Mr. Smith said, man, I'm at work like, I didn't request this. I think it's another Mr. Smith. Oh, no, the same one. Slim Jones, Afua says, who made that recording? Is that Afua Warner says, who made the recording? We're not sure. Chronicle Speaks has the video with the grandfather mail says, I'm going to look for it real quick before we get out of here. And that's as far up as it will let me go. So shout out to y'all. I will play catch up with all the new chats that have come in since then. Let's see this one last thing we're going to check before we go. Let's go to Chronicle Speaks page and see if she has it titled with the grandfather in it, because we don't have time to search. If it's not titled, I can't do it right now. Nolan Wells, newly isolated audio. That's the one we listen to. We want the truth out. We listen to that. Audio proves he returned to the boat. He's dead. Nolan. That's the one. We listen to that as well. Confirms pool party. Warren speaks out. Body did not show signs of being in water for 2 days. Funeral service. No. All right. Shout out to the beautiful Chronicle Speaks. Shout out to her. Thank her for the content, the audio, the work that she's put in. Vince says they had 2 autopsies already. Yeah, unfortunately. Nurse Lady T says, well, technically 1 because the one private was inclusive. Slim Jones says, Gio, I was confused. Who was he addressing? I don't know. I guess he got up out of here. Super smart chat and very respectful. Shirley Pop says, thank you, Shirley. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope we gave y'all a reason to come back. Gio Roman says, thanks for the new subscribers. Okay, we all caught up, y'all. Y'all know what that means, man. It's been real. It's been great. W chat. W. Much love to y'all. Thank y'all. W y'all. I say this all the time, but I say it because I mean it, man. Remember, no content creator is nothing without the support of the people. No content creator. I don't know if your favorite content creator is going to show this kind of love. I do this because y'all don't have to watch. Y'all don't have to be here. Y'all don't have to stay for the duration of the time. We can agree to disagree respectfully. Even if we get passionate with our disagreeing, it's never personal. I can have a disagreement with any one of these people, which we always do, and then tomorrow or later the same day, we meet and we convene, and it's like nothing ever happened because it's not personal. It's just, it gets passionate at times, but never personal. I'm not going to call you out your name. You're not going to call me out of mine. We get disrespectful, it's time to leave the conversation. Then we can discuss how we got disrespectful, fix that, and come back to it. You know what I mean? And continue with the relationship if we choose to. That's how we rock around here, man. Everybody keep it real. Just be upfront with who you are, what you are, and we'll pretty much accept you for that, as long as you're honest. But super duper salute to everybody, man. Thank y'all for rocking out. I've talked for long enough, even though the content did this thing. Live from the Southside, bang, bang, salute. The Real Jim, subscribe, salute. Mel says, in the most ladies videos she posted, you got to go past the first phone call. It continues to a much longer phone call with Warren and a woman. Hey, man, I'll let the people find that one on their own, y'all. We're going to call it one because y'all need the rest of y'all day. And I damn sure need mine. We've been here over 3 hours, man. It's been real. I thank y'all. Like my bro says, I reserve the right to be wrong, but that's only room for human error. That don't mean I can lie, right? A lie is a lie. Being dishonest is being dishonest. But I reserve the right to be wrong. That's only room for human error. I will never set you out on purpose. And like I say, and like the merch also explains, right? I identify as a multimillionaire. Some people want to be men, women, dogs, cats, and Crayola crayons, and they weren't born that. And we have to respect their identity. Cool. This is my choice. This is my identity. Join me. Make them put respect on it. I identify as a multimillionaire. If they got a bathroom, we need a cash register. If they get to have a bathroom, particularly for them, specifically for them, those of us who identify as a multimillionaire need our own cash register in every store. Join the fight. Cop you a hat, shirt, all Rumonati merch, 20% off. You can find that at the Rumonati shop. Just go to the main page of this channel, and right above the subscribe button, you'll see the links. It'll take you right to the link tree where you will find everything Rumonati, from ways to donate to the Rumonati shop and the Twitch, TikTok, and all other things Rumonati, man. Other than that, thank y'all, chat. W, y'all. We're going to get up out of here. Everybody saying great live just because we had a great chat with great energy. Y'all bring the energy. Y'all is what make this thing great, bro. It's a network. I can be up here talking to my goddamn self. That's no fun. Instead, we're all interacting. That's what makes it great, man. So it's a great live, a great chat, and it's all because of y'all. I give y'all all the credit all the time because y'all deserve it. Super duper salute to y'all, man. Let's get some horns in the chat, man. Let's get all kind of noises for the goddamn. What we got in here? I need all the noises. Let's get some bombs. Let's get some laughs. Let's get some money. Let's get some ladies. Let's get some air horns. Let's get some cheers. This all for y'all, man. Super duper salute to y'all. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I thank y'all, man. The best chat ever, man. FBA Judah. So then you can help me with my identity then. Let's get it going, bro. Let's get it going. And fuck it, because we got the soundbite. Let's just play it one more time. You through.
One more time, you through.
Hey, man, this the Rumonati Network. I thank y'all, man. Much love to y'all. Realest chat in the game, most appreciated chat in the game, most aggravating chat in the game, but the most appreciated. Most appreciated chat in the world, man, with y'all aggravating arses. But other than that, this is the Ruminati Network, man. We are out of this month. I'll see y'all in Discord in the Chop It Up section. Let's go.